up, Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
One. What up, dog? People, is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for choosing to kick off this day with the Woo Crew. It's your boy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Another day, KG on the desk filling in for our brother, Flannel Sam. Shout out to Sam Reynolds. We appreciate you, brother. Can't wait to have you back with us. But we do got Detroit's #1 draft pick, Rookie of the Year, Woodward Sports MVP. You got one of those trophies now, too. KG.
Appreciate that.
Good morning, my brother.
Hey.
My good brother.
Hey, feeling good, man. Feeling good. It's a bit slow, man. Without the Pistons now, with the Tigers, and God bless the Tigers, we love them. With them being the only ticket in town, it's kind of like I got an empty void, man. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like
I don't know what to do with my hands either, because obviously Pistons is everything.
Yeah.
But we do got a little bit of Pistons news that we're going to talk about in
Some
this
bullshit.
opening. And it is some BS. It is some BS. It is some BS. As you guys already know, JB Bickerstaff, he joined an illustrious list of elite losers here in Detroit. And we're going to talk about that, man.
How?
But I know if Justin and Kavasi Chase, if you have something that you wanted to share as well on the Red Wings and around the city after I tell people what else is on the menu, definitely let me know. But I saw Justin, he got the stuff up last night. The Red Wings had like an 8.9% chance of picking below the 12th pick. And wouldn't you know it, they picked 13.
Got screwed again.
Of course.
So, yeah,
just Detroit's luck, right?
Detroit
just Detroit's luck.
Wow.
That was amazing to me. But I want to talk about the Lions units. We got to rank the Lions units. Who's the biggest and the baddest of them all?
All
Who do you
right,
think has the biggest unit on the Lions team?
Big pause.
All right,
we got
Jerry
running
Jones,
back.
Yeah.
getting
We got the
close
wide
up there.
receivers. We got the cornerbacks. We got the safety room.
That's
and we
tough,
can even group
bro.
some. Obviously, we're gonna group the overall ones too. But
Yeah.
I was just thinking about, like, when you break it down like that, I feel like we've moved beyond the times where we used to say, "Yo, the strength of the team is offensive line, and we hope everything else can reach a
Right.
standard." Now, when we're with so much noise about Brad Holmes, his drafting, I've saw some people give him F's, some people give him C's and all that. I was like, you know what? Why don't we focus on what's actually here and see, compared to where they were before, man, let's rank these units and talk about how strong they actually are. Because I think that there's a lot of improvement across the board with the Detroit Lions. That's going to bolster this season ahead.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
I'm down.
Yeah, but after that, we got to do a little bit more TLB, and we got to discuss realistic expectations for Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil.
Okay.
We know how much we're going to depend on them. We already know how much fans say, yeah, man, when they get back, day one, Aiden Hutchinson's going to be this and the other. So I want to be able to talk about what a good season, a realistic season looks like for both of those guys. And chat fam, I need you guys also to tell me yours. You can rank it. If you want to give me your top 3, your top 5, give me those units, man, on the Lions. Who's the biggest and the baddest? And then talk to me as well about those expectations for Aiden Hutchinson, for Aleem McNeil, because Brad Holmes, if we're putting on the thinking cap of Brad Holmes, he's sitting there looking at this as we're good to go.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to dissect it from that.
Are they still a Super Bowl roster?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
They should be.
We're going to talk about it, man. But KG?
Uh-oh.
JB Bickersmooth. Do you have that graphic?
Give me 1 second. I'll get it for you.
It got 3 losers on there, bro.
The haters.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Hate.
serious.
The hate.
I sent it to the
Hate,
Wake Up
hate,
Woodward
hate.
Slack.
I don't get it, man.
JB Bickerstaff does not win NBA Coach of the Year.
Wow.
That distinction goes to Cleveland Cavaliers head coach
Kenny
Atkinson, the one who took over what JB Bickerstaff built.
Yeah.
That to me is what is just the ultimate
insane,
slap
bro.
in
It's
the
like a group
face.
project.
It's insane.
This story.
And someone got the most credit.
Look at these losers, man. Let me stop because this is so. I was like, all right, let me try and
They're
come
not
here and really
losers to
dissect
us.
this, break this down.
This
really
is
talk
nuts
about it.
when you
And
think
it's
about
crazy,
it.
dog.
Like, wow,
when
dog.
we say Detroit versus everybody, I'm so serious.
Facts.
I am so serious. It's not just a T-shirt. It's not just a phrase. It's not even just a feel good because it don't feel good to continue to see this narrative over and over and over and over and over again. Because for years, we know that the Pistols were laughing stocks.
Yes.
For years, we know that the Lions were laughing stocks. For years, we know that the Tigers were laughing stocks. People were saying things like, "Oh, well, if LeBron and KD really want to prove themselves, go to Detroit." And so now when you see these coaches come here and do more than just add to wins, but change the culture and connect these teams, each one of these teams with the actual fans.
Yeah.
Like Woodward Avenue is jumping right now. And the fact that none of these guys have been recognized, multiple years passed over for Dan Campbell. And none of these guys are being recognized for the work that they've done, which I believe to be great. It's not even like all of these guys were just marginal, like improving. Like, finally, we can see the road ahead. All these squads are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You see how good the Knicks have started off against the Celtics. So that to me, it speaks volumes, man, to just how much the Detroit versus everybody is more real than not.
No, it seems like these sports leagues are allergic to Detroit because I don't know, like,
Oh, and Rod warned us too.
and it's crazy. He
Rod
did
Beer
warn us.
warned
It was shout out to Rod Beer. He did warn us, but it's crazy when you just look at these guys and you look at what AJ Hinch did. You know, they were 10.5 games back last year, and they somehow miraculously got to the playoffs on one starting pitcher, mind you. Like, this was not what it looks like for the Tigers this year. They had to do a lot in order to get in the playoffs. And yes, you got a historic collapse from the Minnesota Twins. Shout out Minnesota. That seems to be what they do best. But the fact that they were able to get in the playoffs and then make noise in the playoffs. This wasn't just okay, they made it the first round, they'll get swept and we'll call it a day. No, they went in there, they beat the Houston Astros, and they took the Cleveland Guardians for everything that they fucking had. It's ridiculous, bro, that AJ Hinch does not get manager of the year, but instead they give it to Stephen Vogt. Okay, we chilling. The Lions, 15-1, 15-2, sorry, the most franchise wins in history. Number 1 seed for the first time, maybe ever. This Lions team, they get to the playoffs. They did it in the face of over 20 guys on their injured list. That is absolutely
They did something they do all the time and win the NFC North.
Exactly.
Right?
But hold on. Not just win the
You saw
NFC
that
North.
one banner up there, right, JB Smooth?
That one
Before
banner.
this other season. We went in this one banner.
Hold
He
on.
put it up there.
Not just win the NFC North, but in a division in which 3 teams had double-digit wins. You had to fight to the very last fucking game with a almost 15-win record. You had to fight to the last game for everything. And they went in and embarrassed the Vikings. Shout out Minnesota again for always choking. They went out and embarrassed Minnesota again. And I understand how it ended in the playoffs. But if Coach of the Year is supposed to be a regular season award, why the hell wouldn't you give it to Dan Campbell? You sure didn't give it to him the year before when the Lions had all that success and got to the NFC Championship with all the expectations on the line, winning their first playoff game in over 30 years. Like, I don't understand, man. Like, and then JB Bickerstaff, they tripled the fucking win total from that last year to this year. He's come in, like you said, he's changed the culture, and they did it relatively with the same exact players that have been in this locker room. And when you look at all 3 of these guys were more than deserving. When you look at Coach of the Year, it's supposed to be the coach that has done the most throughout a totality of a season, and all 3 of these coaches did that. And it's just a damn shame that Detroit does not get recognized. And for the crowd that's like, oh, we don't care about awards, sure, that's fine. You can stay out this conversation then, because I'm like the Kendrick song. We deserve it all. Whatever we work for, we earn, we deserve, they should give it to us. And there is no reason why these 3 gentlemen have eluded Coach of the Year.
It's crazy,
like it makes no sense.
Absolutely crazy. And you know what, man? I see some people in the chat. Let's get the chat involved. Dino Hill says, if JB got us the second round, do you think he would have won it? No, these are regular season awards.
Allegedly.
And he got the Detroit Pistons to the 6th seed. Nobody thought they were going to get there, man. Nobody was calling for this. And you're talking about historically. If we're talking about this being based on regular season awards of the regular season, then we're talking about the Detroit Pistons doing something that nobody in the history has ever done.
Has done it.
No team has ever gone from 14 wins to making the playoffs. None. And they're the first team through 2 full back-to-back seasons to triple their win total. These are the things that JB Bickerstaff did. And he didn't just do it just with some, just some cobbled mess put together and just, okay, they got lucky. No, he helped these young players develop. He helped this team take a step forward as it relates to establishing an identity. And that's why this is tough, is because I thought that these were some of the coaches that could finally break that curse, that Detroit versus everybody curse.
Yeah.
That these were the guys that you see how they've renewed the passion of fans to the point that fans are going, we see the Lions and how they're well-traveled. We understand all the chants and all this stuff.
Yeah.
We understand what they've been doing on the field during the regular seasons. And that's what I see Matthew Kruger too. He says, come on, Kool-Aid. First round exit for the Lions. First round exit for the Pistons. The only one that got snubbed was A.J. Hinch and the Tigers. No, bro. First round exit for the Detroit Pistons, even if it was based in some part on the playoffs, JB Bickerstaff still did a lot better than what a lot of people expected them to do.
They fucking achieved. They were a 6 seed. They were supposed to not even be a play-in team. We were talking about this team just getting over 26 wins this year. Like, I don't think people really realize the turnaround that really happened in this city. And excuse me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the Cleveland Cavaliers a top team in the East the year prior?
Who was coaching them?
JB Bickerstaff.
So then why should Kenny Atkinson when it did Matthew Kruger?
Crickets.
I mean, that's the whole point of this thing. And for me, these things, to large degrees as it relates and how it resonates with the fan base, it really does.
Yeah.
As your team continues to pile up the accomplishments, it's the exact same reason why we pat each other on the back here. It's the same exact reason why we make sure people understand what you're doing and what you should be awarded with and why. Because at least in the sports business game, it matters. Fans are going to be more adept to support and more adept to buy in if they believe that there's actual competency here. And I know that wins are the ultimate matter. Those are the ultimate measuring sticks. And so I'm glad that we have a coach that doesn't have to rely on that. We got players here who don't have to rely on this being a motivating factor for them. In fact, it's more or less the same. You don't want to give us the due. You don't want to give us the homage. That's trouble for you.
Yeah.
That's what I like most about these coaches and why we get, our blood's going to boil a little bit, because you're right. We won ours. We talk about this all the time. And that's why I'm glad that Amon-Ra St. Brown gives license to conversations like this, because he says, no, F that. I do want my Pro Bowl. I don't care if he says it's a popularity contest.
Right.
I'm Amon-Ra. What are you talking about? Put 2 and 2 together. So it's just like, yes, I want it all for all my guys. They're going out there and they're playing. I want them to have that at the end of their careers. I want us to be able to talk about when we have the card. We got cards. People are buying memorabilia for what? And you look on the back of your card and your guy got what? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
that's
weak, bro.
where the championship is the end-all, be-all. And I do believe that things like this ultimately will spur these types of coaches to the top, because they're competitors. They want to win. They aren't beset by the different things that we've seen might trip up some of the coaches in the past, whether it be culture issues, whether it be a control over the team, whether it be an aspect of X's and O's.
Yeah.
Like, how many coaches in the past have we heard? Like, I loved Caldwell, but there was some issues there.
Yeah, a lot of issues.
I love
him
Jim
too.
Schwartz.
But
There were some issues there.
Yeah.
Now we finally got the coaches that's put it all together, and sometimes you just want to see them get their due.
And it's been sustainable too as well, man, especially in terms of the Lions. But it's egregious to me that people like A.J. Hinch and J.B. Bickerstaff, they get jobbed after the miraculous seasons that they had. If you want to put that against the Lions, fine. The Lions have been a winning organization for the past 3 years. I can understand
not
it.
Not due to Dan Campbell.
True, but I can at least understand it from that aspect. But as far as the Tigers and the Pistons, there's no fucking excuse. I'm sorry.
If it's a regular season award, I'm sorry, bro.
There's no excuse.
Won 15 games with how many different teams last year?
A lot of different iterations.
And it wasn't his B team.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his C team. If you're talking about which one, if you're telling me before the season starts, pick one of these situations, I'm going to say the Lions one is the most difficult one. Yeah, I'm losing Aiden Hutchinson within the first 6 weeks of the season.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
When he was on the pace,
I'm losing on Liam McNeil. I'm losing. How many guys?
You lost Marcus Davenport a game too.
That's what I'm talking about. And we were actually supposed to be depending on him. So that's where it just gets, it gets weird. And if the precipice and if the notion is going to always be you have to do more, well, we're used to that. I'm really used to that. Man, I grew up seeing my pops and my grandfather. If it was more to do. And you know what I loved? Even when my grandpa was retired, he still was like, I still want to work because this is what we do. And whether anybody's going to pay you the homage, whether anybody's going to give you the awards or the accolades, it's something more or less in here. Yeah. And so these guys aren't the ones that are looking in the mirror and looking in their cupboards to determine the aspect of success they are going to or aren't going to have. That's what I've loved so much about J.B. Bickerstaff, who I do believe got absolutely robbed, not just snubbed. Snubbed is there was a case for the people ahead of you too. There's not a case in this instance. Kenny Atkinson literally took over a team that J.B. Bickerstaff took from not in the playoffs to in the playoffs to one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference before Kenny had anything to do with them from a head coaching perspective.
Nah, man, don't get me started. But overall, this will make our guys better because in Detroit, we like to thrive off bulletin board material. We like motivation. And you can say that, Dan Campbell may not care or J.B. Bickerstaff or A.J. Hinch. They may not care about these things, but I think in the back of their mind, they know the type of job that they've done, and they know that they are very much deserving of these type of awards. So it's only going to fuel them to get better, man.
Krug's,
so it is what it is.
Krug's brings up a point, and I want to get to it on the other end of the break before we TLB here.
Matt Kruger bringing up a point.
Shout out to Hoop Hardy.
Shout out, man.
They should just openly say that Detroit isn't eligible for awards since it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, at this point.
Voice of reason. Before I read Matthew Kruger's statement, and then we'll pick it back up on the other side, I need you on this, man. You're the voice of reason here at the network, and really, you should be the voice of reason in everybody's life. You're the one who said, you know what? I didn't even want to give him his flowers on this one, but I have to. We all know that he called J.B.
Bickerstaff.
J.B. Bickerstaff.
He did. J.B. Bickerstaff.
You know what else he called?
What?
Stephen Castle.
Oh, he did.
He was the one.
He did. Got to give it up.
JB Smooth.
Got to give it up. Get your shit off, JB.
Our coach is getting robbed. JB is the latest.
Tell it like it is, JB.
This sucks, man. This is embarrassing. Once again, three times in a row, our coaches put in all the effort and they get love from all these players, and once again, you just get robbed and snubbed pretty much out of every single year, and year after year, season after season. And I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't. As you guys have already stated before, J.B. Bickerstaff was in Cleveland. He basically put together this team, put them in the playoffs, got them to the playoffs, and now you give it to someone who just kind of just slid in there. It's just like, oh, all right, I guess I get to coach a good team now. Oh, wow, okay. And now you see this Piston team go from where they were this past season, from like 14 wins to now in the playoffs, back once again, and all of because of who? J.B. Bickerstaff, someone who I was rooting for this whole offseason to get there, to get to this team right now as it is. And a shout out to Stephen Castle as well, to winning Rookie of the Year. But that was just my dream for this team. Obviously, it wasn't going to happen, but it was just a nice thought to have him on this team. But obviously, you had to move some things, and I didn't want to let go of Ivy as it is. So that's just on me. That's just personally what I thought when we were drafting. But it is what it is. I don't know. Matthew Kruger kind of has a point. You might as well just tell us right now at the beginning of the season, you know what? Detroit, you're not going to win anything. You're not going to win any awards. So just back up.
Yep. And that one was from Hoof Hearted, but from Krugs. And when we get on the other side of the break, I'm going to have to it looks like we got Crash Out Willie style.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
Willie's upset over there, man.
Chopped cheese right now. We got Crash Out Willie.
He might break the booth.
We're going to have to another end of it. Put the K. Yeah, I was about to say.
Take it away. Take it off.
But Krug says Kool-Aid. And I think that this can apply for multiple coaches. We're going to talk about it. Kool-Aid, do you think that the Major League Association is still punishing A.J. Hinch for the World Series accusations and suspensions in a sense by not giving him the Coach of the Year?
It could very well be that.
I've heard, and we heard broadcasters say this too.
Yeah.
J.B. Bickerstaff is too much on the refs. He's too much. So we're gonna talk about it, man.
You really think that plays a factor in that type of award?
I don't. Well, who votes on these things? The same people saying these things. We talked about it.
That
Rod warned us,
bro.
He warned us,
dog.
Wait. He's too hard on the refs. Like you're the coach.
Soft, I'm gonna try and
you're the coach.
Find who Justin who said that, because I saw the quote yesterday and I meant to pull it for socials, bro.
JB too
somebody
hard on the
during
refs.
the
you're sticking up for your team.
The playoffs was effectively saying that he whines to the refs too much.
Come on now.
You know what?
I don't give a fuck if he slapped the ref. They tripled their win total. 14-44. Like, it's just simple fucking math. Like, fuck them refs, bro. What are we talking about? Fuck them refs. How about they do their fucking job the right way? How about you call some fucking calls for Cade Cunningham? Like, what are we talking about the refs?
Look at Tim Hardaway. You get lunch, man.
Yeah, please do.
Bottom bar.
Please do.
It is Buddy's original Detroit style pizza, man. It's great.
Fucking refs.
KG's
too hard on the refs.
Right
Man,
now.
get out of here.
Hey, but you know what? The ultimate
Fuck
pick me up.
outta here.
It is Buddy's Pizza. Hey, get that mobile app, the Buddy's Pizza mobile app, so that you can save so that you can not only save 10% off your next order using promo code 10mil, but also get points, promotions, and work your way towards free food. Who doesn't like free or who don't like Buddy's? Buddy'sPizza.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
One.
Planet Fitness, it is the gym that everybody knows about, man. Planet Fitness is all over the world, man. Still the best deal in the gym game right now. And if it's, you know, it's a gloomy day outside, you don't want to go outside and get your workout, go to the gym. Go to Planet Fitness. Get right for the summer. Get that body together. They got tanning beds. They got massage beds. They got everything, every piece of equipment that you could ever ask for right there in the building. Planet Fitness, it is where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And we're still talking about
Wake
Detroit
up.
versus everybody. You know what? We haven't done that in a long time.
Hey, NBA writers, wake up out of your sleep. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Tell him, KG.
Too hard on a coach.
Bum ass.
No, that graphic just pissed me off because we really have been jobbed 3 straight times now. Somebody got to say something. Somebody got to say something around here.
Or we'll suck dick or kiss ass. I mean,
All right,
what,
you know
Wait,
what?
whoa.
Crash out, man.
I mean, that's what. I'm sorry, man, but you know,
Crash out, man.
Wait.
we expect, man. You hate our city. I mean, come on, man. We always go back. We always go and come back for nothing. That's what Troy is. We come for nothing. We go get something So you go hate what you want. JB did his thing, and like Dan Campbell brought the spirit back. The fire spirits back when he came in the Lions coach. And AJ Hinkson brought the Tigers back after the Golden Gym Leaning days. Like, dude, give us the credit where it's due. Detroit for everybody. Y'all hate our cities. You know, not just sports, just the whole city itself. Because y'all think we just hard working class people, and y'all just dog us out for so many years. Fuck y'all. I mean, you got a problem with that. You know, it's what it is. Y'all want to play politicking with the sports writers. J.B. Bickerstaff supposed to be coach of the year, and he coached the Cavs after he got fired, went to playoffs and semifinals, and brought back Detroit after the 25 losing streak last season.
Yeah, it was a long time.
And he brought back.
It's a long time.
It's a long time for 1 year and shit. Now he brought back to what it's supposed to be. Give our respect our city. Respect our city.
Willie, I love your spin facts, man, but that was a wild opening. It's hard to focus on the main message of the point. I can't lie to you.
No, big fan.
Sorry, man. I ain't going out like that, man.
We ain't doing none of that.
I've been holding it. Yep.
Hold up. Yeah, I'm going to let him get Justice Mike about that -5, but I need to get Justice's take on this, too. And Kavasi and Chase, too, if he got something to say. It was awesome. So I got to walk in this morning as I entered the studio, and I saw the legend that is Fast and Loose in action, bro.
Hey,
shout
Fast
out to
and
JB
Loose, loose and
Smooth
fast.
Kavasi Chase for what they're doing. We're gonna get that up soon too. Actually, JB, let's try and work on getting these episodes on the channel.
Yeah, we can.
Definitely, but
Hell yeah.
really crashing out, man. Help him, man. Help your brother out. That dude, Justin.
I mean, there's no describing the way that this city has been screwed over and over again. I think that's just facts. I like KG said, I mean, how can you take a team that you tripled their win total and you don't give the man coach of the year? Like, it was most obviously the most impressive coach of the year candidacy across the entire NBA. And it's utterly ridiculous, honestly. Like, I don't even understand how you can go in a different direction. Was it the Rockets coach who won the?
No, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers coach that won it. JB Bickerstaff was the coach the year before.
So the foundation that JB Bickerstaff made in Cleveland over the last 3 years of him being there.
Yep.
That this guy just took
Kenny
over.
Atkinson.
Kenny
yes.
Atkinson just took over. Was able to win coach of the year. What was their win improvement, Kool-Aid?
The Pistons?
No, the Cavs.
I don't know what their total win improvement was. It wasn't much though.
So we're talking about a 30-plus win total improvement from the Pistons versus a relatively similar season from the Cavs. And they want to talk about this guy did some immaculate job coaching. How many All-Stars do they have again? Don't they have at least 2 All-Stars as well?
Yeah.
How many
Not just
All-Stars
2
do the Pistons
All-Stars.
have?
It's not even just about the 2 All-Stars, but look at how healthy their roster is for the players that aren't even All-Stars, man. Yeah, they got some dogs over there.
Yeah, we didn't have Isaiah Stewart for the playoffs. We didn't have Ivy for half the season. Like, these are all things
right,
that
actually.
make this more impressive from JB Bickerstaff. And that's just, I personally don't understand.
So they had
he took
24
Cleveland
more wins.
From 48 wins to 64 wins. So 64 and 18 this year, which is impressive.
That's a big jump.
That is a big jump, especially when you're talking about the quality it takes to make that jump from moving from one of the middle seeds in the East to being one of the top seeds. So
they went from second to first. So they were second in the East.
Once
under
again,
JB
you did
Bickerstaff.
that off of JB Bickerstaff's leftovers. I'm just
sloppy
be real.
seconds, as they
Sloppy seconds. Shit.
Yeah, it's goodness.
That's
gracious,
just
bro.
crazy to me, man. I'm sorry.
Unreal.
The Pistons haven't been relevant in over a decade. Like, I don't understand. Like,
And it's like, the playoffs, they don't matter to it. I see A-Dis 412. Cleveland got the WNBA team over Detroit too. I don't understand how we put up the type of bid that we did and we still lost. You even got Jared Goff involved, bro. Grant Hill involved.
Yeah.
Chris Webber involved.
every power player in
Martha
the city.
freaking Ford and Sheila Hamp were involved.
right?
Like every power player in the city. You got the Lions.
And
to
it don't
say,
mean shit.
Sure.
The Detroit Avengers assembled and Dan Gilbert beat them all. He was Thanos.
Pretty much.
He beat all of them.
Talk about getting
Owner of
screwed
downtown
though.
Detroit.
Just before we go into because I see one of these super chats here. Freddie felt 199. My unit is the biggest and baddest.
Hey.
Just so you guys understand, we're gonna
Subjective.
rank that dude. We're gonna rank the Lions biggest and baddest units. There was this one time where we said the offensive line is the strength of this squad. Is that still the same? And is it still as far a gap as it used to be? I see you over there, man. You look inquisitive, man.
Yeah, I mean, are we saving this for the next segment?
Next segment. What I need from you right now before we get there, though, is talk about screw jobs. And we talked about a lot of them. Red Wings. I told the people in the open, you posted last night, 8.9% chance of picking below 12th, and they picked 13th. Just briefly, those implications on what it means for the Detroit Red Wings going into this offseason.
I mean, it doesn't mean a lot. I mean, there's not a big difference between 12 and 13, especially the way the Red Wings draft. Steve Yzerman seems to be a lot like Brad Holmes, has a completely different board than everybody else. around the league. And so, personally, my first reaction was I wanted them to trade the pick to get someone that could help them win now. But then I went back and I thought about previous 12th and 13th overall picks, and there's a lot of quality at that number. And I believe that there is a player that will be a best player available fit that will be able to help the Red Wings, maybe not this year, but in the year after. And I've been saying since I got to this network that they're 2 years away from being able to contend for a Stanley Cup and be a deep playoff team contender as well. And I'm sticking to that. So next year, I wouldn't expect them to trade their pick, especially this will be the last year they're picking this high, because I expect them to make that final jump into the playoffs over the next 2 seasons. So having this high of a draft pick in the lottery, I do think they're going to use it to draft, and they're going to try to pick someone who can be that offensive top 6 that they need to finish off this offensive 5-on-5 scoring issue that they have.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that because I know hockey is a little bit different, but are the Red Wings coming to a point in which they don't really need a lot more youth? Because we keep hearing about these kids that are supposed to be coming up and they're going to be the pillars of the team going forward, but are they in a position to where the less younger players that they acquire at this point, the better?
Similar to the Pistons.
Yeah.
I think that you can't have enough youth, especially when you are a good team. Like you're seeing right now, like who the Grand Rapids Griffins are playing in their playoff series. They're playing the Texas Stars, and their NHL team, Dallas, is one of the best teams in the NHL, one of the deepest teams in the NHL, and they still have an AHL team that's one of the best in the AHL. And that's what causes their sustained success. Like right now, they have their version of a Lucas Raymond, Wyatt Johnston playing on their third line, and that's why they're a Stanley Cup contender. Yeah. So you can never have enough youth. You're talking about a depth that you don't need in other sports like you need in hockey. You need every player on your team to be effective. And so if we're talking about bringing in another guy who can possibly be another 5-on-5 weapon for you offensively or help you in your back end and finish off your decor with the young prospects you already have, I'm all game for it.
Another thing, too, about Dallas is nobody right now, while they're in this run of like the last 5 years of making the conference finals, making the Stanley Cup finals, everybody's forgot about how they were bad for like 5 or 6 year stretch during this whole rebuild to get to where they are now. So, I mean, obviously, like, you know, people want to bitch and complain about what the Red Wings are doing. Look what Dallas has been doing. Look Tampa Bay. They were in a complete rebuild from when they tore down the Cup win in 2004 to get to where they were now with Steve Yzerman taking over building that team and then continuing to be as dominant in the Atlantic Division, as tough of an out in the Atlantic Division and in the Eastern Conference as they are. So, I mean, if you don't like what Yzerman's doing, just take a look at the blueprint of these other teams in the playoffs right now and how they've built their team.
And you got to build that depth. Like, that's the only way you can get there is by building your depth. And when you build the depth through young players, you eventually get to the point where Dallas was at, where they can add, 30-plus-year-old guys who are veterans who can help your team win, like Matt Duchene, who they added from Colorado a couple years ago, Tyler Seguin, who they added from Boston. Like, all those guys are in their upper 30s, but they're still so effective because they're like veterans. They know how to play playoff hockey. They sign for lower deals because they're just trying to win a cup at that point, and that's what you need. Like Taylor Hall for the Carolina Hurricanes signed a $3 million deal. That's a cheap deal for a player of that quality, but it's only because of his age, and that's what the Red Wings need to get to, a point where the depth is good enough where they can sign those older veterans for those cheap contracts and really fill out their roster in the right way.
Okay. Well, a lot of good things to look forward to in terms of, where the Red Wings will be with this draft. Because, I mean, Stevie got to do something, man. They on his ass. They on his ass.
Do something. And shout out to the good folks in the chat, too. We're going to I'm going to kick it over to JB Smooth real quick. But I saw this one from a name. I don't see it make too many comments, but Joseph Campbell III in the chat says, shout out to you fellas at Woodward Sports, always keeping it true and real. Detroiters for life. Let's go.
Damn right.
Baby.
Shout out.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you all, chat family, for the support that you guys give us. If you get an opportunity, go ahead and smash that like button to support the Woo crew. And JB Smooth, do we have any super chats to clean up? I think
yes, we do. Shout out to everyone for sending in super chats as well to Dorian
Garland.
Shout out to you. $10. He said, at this point, I don't even know what more Detroit can do. One coach, triple win total, another best record in the franchise, another 0.2% playoff chance,
Wow.
Any other coach in a different city would have got it. And I got to agree with that as well, too. Any other coach somewhere else probably would have got it. Oh, Utah? All right, cool. Guess what? You know what? You went in there. You barely got into the playoffs. Half of the team doesn't like you, but you were great with the refs. All the refs loved you. You bought them gift cards. Oh, shout out to you. Oh, you did wonderful. Coach of the year. Go right ahead.
It's just like the more you hear, the more you should get pissed off as a Detroit sports fan.
Because
like it's ridiculous.
Willie's still in the South receiving.
Right.
Y'all.
We ain't S and no D's though, so yeah.
Just no A.
Right.
Fucking we ball.
Oh my God.
JB, let's get to this next segment, man. We got a TLB. We got to talk Lions, the units.
Bitch.
And we're gonna focus.
Good timing.
Come on, crew. They deserve you.
We got your back, man.
Especially these two, man. Like, I'm taking off right after the show, and KG and that dude Justin, two deserving people, are going to be holding down the show. So I know a lot of commentary as well from Kavasi HS. So I look forward to what you guys are going to do. Support them, give them your likes, man.
Appreciate that.
And obviously, these guys are professionals up here, so I can't wait to see how you guys hold it down.
Yeah, shit about to change around here now. I'm talking. It's gonna be an interesting couple days, though. It's gonna be an interesting couple days.
Man. That's Detroit's #1 draft pick.
Y'all know it.
Let's get to that next segment. Unless we got a few more super chats.
No super chat, so I got to tell you guys about some merch that we got going on. Take yourself over to woodwardsports.com and click on that shop tab. I'm telling you right now, we got new designs dropping every single week for you. But let me tell you about the ones up on screen right now. Shout out to those Gritty Tigs, the Woodward Tigers. You should be rocking some of this gear down at Comerica Park when the boys get back to the ballpark. And also shout out to the Red Wings as well too. Got screwed once again over in the draft picks, the draft lottery. But you can still support them. The LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies, all still available for you right now at woodwardsports.com. Head over there, just click on that shop tab, get swagged out.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Shout out to Loom Cannabis Company. Spring is in the air and Michigan is buzzing. And I mean that literally because they have a drink called Buzzing with 7.5 milligrams of real THC wrapped in bubbles. Who don't want something wrapped in bubbles, man? Crafted with real fruit juice and no artificial sweeteners. They're big in flavor, but low in calories and 100% hangover free. All bubbles, no troubles. And catch it in watermelon, cherry, strawberry, or one of the new flavors, raspberry lemonade and peach. Available at any of Loom's 38 locations across Michigan. And y'all see that QR code up there. Y'all see the WSN30 promo code. You put that in, you get 30% off your entire order online or in store. That is a hell of a deal. Go to Loom right now. Get all that at loom.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? We are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? Before we TLB, let's set the mood just a little bit. We gotta satisfy that light button.
It's teetering towards
it's my
rough
last day
light.
of the week here.
It's teetering towards a rough light session.
Just one more time.
Yeah. I know you like your slow and smooth Kool-Aid, but you know we gonna put a little rhythm in it. You know you gonna do that traditional move that you don't usually do.
Like
you might spin your finger a little bit. You know you might do some tricks on it. So go ahead and just hit that like button in any way that you so please, man. We should just make a merch shirt with a screw on it. That's it. It's just with a screw and just sell it. People will know what it means.
We'll like the Detroit skyline behind it.
Right.
You better watch out for the new merch because I've been cooking.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Now
Let's go.
ChatGPT, shout out. They can make clip art for you, and that makes you be able to get around all the athletes' branding and stuff. So you can use like clip art of athletes. So
wow.
our merch about to get fire.
Okay.
That's what's up, man.
Love to hear it.
Cooking and thinking.
That's
what we're talking
what's
about, man.
up.
The social team.
Yeah.
Innovating. That's what's up, man. Can't wait to see the merch that we bring to the table. And I saw Justin. He also found, before we talk Lions, he found the article was Mike Breen.
It's actually him saying it on the broadcast. I actually said the
Yes.
clip in the Wake Up
On
Woodward
the broadcast,
Slack.
dog.
If
Wow.
JB wants to pull that up.
Oh, yeah.
Just-
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Mike Breen.
Yeah, because because the issue is that media, they contribute to who's winning these awards. And
That's
if
true.
he's saying these things on live broadcasts, then the implications could be, because why would, as a media person, why would you alienate yourself?
Right,
Why would
right.
you put yourself on an island or put yourself in a position with a coach who has done something really good to be cast in a certain light? And who in media said anything when he against him?
Not many. At least not to me.
Not many. Hey,
Yeah.
you got that video, brother? And it was effectively just about his demeanor towards the referees, that he whines too much to the refs.
He said in his 30 years he'd never seen a coach argue with an official as much as JB Bickerstaff.
Really?
So you'll mean Bob Knight complaining about the referees in college basketball, throwing
Bro,
chairs
there's
and
been so many
tantrums.
coaches like
Yeah.
Popovich, like the greats, man. Like some of the good coaches in this league, and
Yeah.
some of the not good coaches in this league.
JB don't even get tossed half the time when he's arguing with a ref, man. If
It's
he's
almost
really
like the
that bad,
Kirby
he would
Joseph
get
thing, though.
Yeah, he
right?
would get tossed a lot more
Kirby's
often.
the bad player who doesn't get fined or flagged.
It
right?
makes no sense.
The dirty player who don't get fined or flagged. I feel like, man, let's get to that video, JB Smooth. Thank you for getting that too, Justin.
No problem.
JB Bickerstaff just will not stop. This is now going on live. He's back out on the court again. This guy is a heck of a coach. And what he did this year is miraculous. This is at the end of the timeout. It was nonstop. I've been doing this over 30 years. I don't know if I've ever seen a coach argue this much, nonstop from the opening tip till now. Now, if you talk to the players, Clyde, they'll tell you this is part of why they love this guy. They say he's a dog like the players. He's fighting for us like the players. But there comes a point where Tony Brothers is going to say, another technical, you're gone. It's nonstop. It's continuous.
Remember the last game, Walton was also doing it, Mike. Remember they had two refs going.
Well, Luke Walton, who's the assistant, just did a good job as JB Bickerstaff and Tony Brothers have kind of a contentious thing going on. And then Luke Walton went out and made Tony Brothers laugh to kind of ease the situation. That's great work from an assistant.
That's crazy.
Oh, my
He
God.
didn't have to say the Luke Walton stuff.
He
dog.
didn't.
What
bro.
the frick?
He did not. That's shade. That's shade by Mike
Hating.
Breen. That's crazy. I'm a fan of Mike Breen. Why is him of all people?
Backhanded compliments. And then Luke Walton came here and did a really
Brownie
good
poison.
job.
Luke Walton, you're crediting Luke, and no offense to Luke Walton, but you're crediting Luke Walton for the job that JB Bickerstaff has done.
That's why I said
that's what we doing.
You kind of read between the lines and you start to understand if no other media is like, well, Mike Brink, they're not even asking why did you say that?
Right,
what
right.
What was what's the name? My man on the broadcast say with him, Frazier say with him. Yeah.
That's crazy. But he could be vocalizing what the rest of the media landscape is feeling. And that's crazy if they are, because I've seen way worse, interactions with coaches than what JB Bickerstaff has done.
That's crazy.
And maybe if you called more fouls, how about, we wouldn't argue with the refs so much. I don't think that's a hard equation.
Well, look at the 2-minute pool reports. I mean, one of the crazy, right? He doesn't have an obligation to protect his squad. When the refs are the ones stepping to the podium saying things like, yeah, duh, we cost you the game because we just missed a foul. And what ref stepped to the podium and said that? Look at the picture.
Yeah.
The ref is sitting right there.
Right no
there.
excuse for him to miss that call. No excuse, bro.
Goodness gracious. But we got to talk. Goodness, man.
That's crazy.
Thank you for finding the clip.
But like you said, Rod warned us, man. He did.
He warned us. He said this is how this goes. He says he understands how media does things. He understands that they don't really zoom in on what we're doing here. And that's understandable. They're focused on what they're focused on, and they're looking at the top of the tops because I guess they just don't have the time to really deep dive in a sport that they say that they cover.
It's not hard to deep dive on the team that went from worst to damn near first, bro.
And when you have the ability to influence how these awards go, when you have the ability to vote in these awards, at the very least, before you open your mouth about somebody, bro, it's like, why don't you at least get to know the situation first? Don't just say, well, they won 44 games. Bro, they beat a lot of the teams, and passed up a lot of the teams in players that those same guys were saying we're going to be better than the Pistons this year.
Yeah.
And it just seems like with them even striking out on all the postseason awards, it just seems like media doesn't want to give Detroit its due.
Never.
That's just what it feels like to me. Malik
Never.
Beasley, Cade Cunningham, JB Bickerstaff. I don't get it, man.
It's never, though. Like, across all of our teams. Like, it makes no sense, bro. But I'm over it. And like somebody said, it's not going to change in the chat. And we do get that. But somebody got to stand up for our motherfucking city, bro. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Let's get into the Lions. Got to talk about the biggest and the baddest units because once a long time ago, we knew that this offensive line was the it. And we were hoping that Jahmyr Gibbs becomes what we see him as right now. We were hoping that Jared Goff turns into an MVP candidate like we just saw this previous season. And now you see that the safety room might have something to say as well when you're talking about the biggest and the baddest units.
Yes, sir.
On the Detroit Lions. And KG, I got to start with you. And anybody else that wants to add to the conversation, definitely feel free. I'm looking forward to what that dude just has to say because when we brought this up, he was like, But when you're looking at what the Detroit Lions did, my first thought goes to the offensive line was a strength of this team. It was the unquestioned strength of this team. Have they done enough to continue it being that way?
Absolutely. I think that you got a little bit of a regression from Graham Glasgow and Taylor Decker in some ways. I don't think his regression was as much as people played it up to be, but it is something to pay attention to going forward. But when you look at how they drafted, they absolutely covered the trenches. In terms of guard position, they went out, they got Frazier, they went out and they got Tate Ratledge. Those are two guys that one is going to be probably a starter for you going forward, and the next guy is going to be arguably your center of the future, because I think in a lot of ways they want to, kind of versify his game to where he can play center as well, because that's something that Frank Ragnow and Graham Glasgow have been able to do. They want that versatility in their offensive line. But overall, when you look at what they've done, if you also add Christian Mahogany and Giovanni Manu to that mix, which we don't know a lot about, but we do think that the Lions have big plans for these guys. I think they're pretty well suited for the offensive line to be a strength going forward. Absolutely.
Goodness gracious, man, because this was a time where it wasn't even a question. It was just the undoubted top unit on the Detroit Lions, and I believe more so than ever this season it's going to be important for them to actually maintain that perch, even though we see the Detroit Lions taking a step forward. Do you still have them as that unquestioned, or do you think that there's some of these other units they have that are challenging for that top spot?
I think that safety tandem is arguably the best in the league. They can compete with that offensive line. I think our receiving core is very much slept on. I would put them towards the top, but they wouldn't be the best. But I don't think they get enough recognition. And our running back room, arguably the best in the league with Jahmyr Gibbs, and we can't forget David Montgomery, man. He is going to add a lot to this offense. Although a lot of people feel like this is Gibbs' time. Like, is Gibbs going to be the starter going forward? Is he going to get the bulk of the touches going forward under a John Morton offense? That's the biggest question. But as a tandem, you can't really name a lot of tandems better than him in football. You can't.
Not at all. Not at all. What up, though, that dude, Justin?
See, KG, you're spin facts, but spin too many facts because of the ones I had. I had the safeties. You pulled that one out. I was like, all right, I'll transition to the running backs. And then he's like,
as a crew, let's set that, man. Is the offensive line still the unquestioned number one?
It definitely is the unquestionable best unit because of how deep they are. Like, we're talking about now, we got guys who are backups like Ratledge and Manu and Frazier, guys who have pretty high floors in the NFL to at least be starters. In terms of Manu, his ceiling is more higher than his floor. So, yeah. But I think that there is the most depth in that unit for sure. I think that the receivers, there's a case, but I think the running backs and the safeties case is both better than the wide receivers, unless Isaac Tesla turns into what are they calling him? They had a really cool nickname for him.
Really? Sheesh.
I don't remember. I saw it on TikTok. I'll have to go find it.
Because I do believe that the wide receiver room is the one that is kind of the dark horse candidate. I do. You talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown as one of your team's leaders, the ascension of Jamison Williams. And then you got a bevy of players like Tim Patrick, who he's going to be much more comfortable this season. He seems like he's in a much better headspace this year, or at least through the season with the Detroit Lions. And you're talking about Isaac Tesla and whatever else they choose to do, because we're also talking about Sam Laporta from the tight end position too. Yeah, I believe that is a dark horse candidate to be one of the best.
You almost forget about Sam Laporta.
We've had many conversations where I realized we didn't even mention his name. Where we're talking about playmakers or pass catchers for the squad, and it is exactly like I see in the chat. I just saw it passing by, but they said, "Yo, the Lions have a historic offense." And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because the other comment that I saw, which puts us in perspective for the second half of the conversation, is they didn't do enough to build the defense. And that's what we're going to talk about, the realistic expectations of Hutch and Aleem, because you dropped the bar yesterday. When you do look at the makeup of some of these defensive lines, they're not even constructed, in my opinion, with the potential that the Lions present right now, even though we don't have the bookend, edge rusher that we would want with Aiden Hutchinson.
But we got 3 out of 4. And that's what people need to realize. We are like monstrous in the middle. When you add Aleem McNeil, when you add DJ Reader, and you look at some of the picks that they've made, I mean, Roy Lopez is going to contribute. Tyreek is going to come in and contribute early in his first year. They are absolutely like stacked in the middle. And you have one of the best premier pass rushers in this league in Aiden Hutchinson. I think you could get by with 3 out of 4. I really do. Especially if most of the defense is healthy.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually was about to say I'm ready to put the D-line up there in that conversation. They probably are the last unit of those units, but in terms of I'd take the D-line depth over the linebackers. I'd take the D-line depth over the tight ends. I would take the D-line depth over the corners. I think that the D-line depth is actually really strong. And if they're able to come off injury, and I know that's an if, this D-line has proven that they can be productive. The issue with Marcus Davenport is his injury history. It's not his play on the field. When he is on the field, he is effective. He is a perfect pairing for Hutchinson if he can stay healthy. The only reason people want an edge is so we have a safety blanket if he gets hurt again. Hutchinson, arguably the best defensive end in the NFL.
Yeah.
DJ Reader, Pro Bowler. Aleem McNeil, Pro Bowler. Roy Lopez, solid depth piece. Tyreek Williams, high floor draft pick.
High ceiling, high floor and a high ceiling for Tyreek.
You saw Mekhi Wingo come on a little bit at the end of the year. You got Muhammad. Like, we have depth there. Like, there are guys, and if everyone stays, I think everyone is so scared of last season. And everyone is just like holding on to this false narrative that the injuries are going to be like they were last year. Like, it's not going to be like that every year. Like, it's not like that's just an unlucky season. There hasn't been a season for any team in the last 5 years that I can think of that dealt with as many injuries as the Lions dealt with last year.
It's still no one.
And they still went 15-2. Like, that proves the quality of this team. Yep. And you want to talk about the Eagles? They had 21 of 22 day one starters playing in the Super Bowl.
You're right, and that
Spinny
was
said all the time,
bro. That was the thing that we continued to hear, not just here with Spinny, but also on the national broadcast. And from a depth perspective, they also the Miles Adams, Pat O'Connor, Levi O. They're going to have depth. When you lay it out that way, realistically, what we're talking about with the Lions isn't do they need to add more for talent. It's really, are they going to be available? And it's the best ability we talk about often with these teams. The Detroit Pistons in their rebuild, it was thwarted because they brought in some vets who could play, but they couldn't play games. When they were available, they did well, and when they weren't, which was a lot of games, it just didn't fit. So you're not getting any type of chemistry or cohesion. We saw the Pistons this year just like we've seen several times over with all these teams that are winning now. When you're able to get that cohesion, when you do have the right vets on this squad, man, this thing, it tends to work itself out more than not. And we've seen that happen to historic rates with the Pistons and the Lions.
Do you remember the conversations we were having in September, October, and part of November when we were talking about this defense being a top 5 unit in the NFL? And that's how well they were playing?
Yeah.
Like, do we forget the fact that the Lions were down by 20 points against the Texans and we shut them out in the second half?
How often did we say that the last year's defense, even without Aiden Hutchinson, was better than the previous years?
Yeah.
I heard that from Chat Family, socials, and including other media outlets and such.
And that's with all the injuries. Like, you're talking about adding back Aiden Hutchinson, Amik Robertson's coming back. Like, we add DJ Reed to that mix. Like, there's so much more talent on this defense. Like, now, if you compare it to, like, I'd love to, for one of these days, put a side-by-side comparison of our playoff defense versus our projected day one defense for this year. And I want people to actually see the visualization of how much better this team is going to be. Even just the depth on the defensive line. We actually have legitimate depth pieces there. Like, there was no one really behind Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader last year. Now you have 2 guys who are serviceable that you can drop in there at any time and know that they're going to give you quality snaps in Roy Lopez and Tyleik Williams. And that's something you couldn't say last year. You couldn't say the cornerback room goes 4 or 5 deep because of the emergence of Ennis Rakestraw. You couldn't say that
I'm actually excited for the linebacking room just getting healthy. They had some dogs there, and they showed a deep rotation there, especially when you consider Malcolm Rodriguez and what he was able to do. And I like the fact that the linebackers are versatile. Malcolm Rodriguez adds something to that line. I'm focusing on him because we all know what we expect out of Anzalone and out of Jack Campbell. And I expect a big step forward from Jack Campbell, not just being a guy who we saw take a nice step from year 1 to year 2, but a guy from not just what we consider like Dan Campbell. He can be the green dot. He can be the leader. I want to see him be that guy. I want to see him be that alpha while Alexander Anzalone is still here on this squad. I think it's very important for him as a potential future of this linebacker of this team, leader of this team, unquestioned leader, to take that step while he's still here. It's something about earning that respect. Dog to dog, having your OG look you in the eyes and say, you know what, you earned it.
Yes, sir.
And when you talk about the makeup of the linebackers that we have on this team, they're still relatively young, and we're still hoping to get so much more out of them from potential. This is where I do believe that if you see Jack Campbell reach that level, this whole room, especially with our guy KG as the new defensive coordinator, shout out Calvin Shepard, that's why I expect a lot out of these linebackers. I really do. And I do think that when I started thinking about this, because I first started at the D-line, and I was like, let's talk about Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil. Then I started realizing they're pretty decent. And I went to the linebackers. And we had already talked about what the secondaries looking like, specifically those safeties. Then we know that the running backs, they might have an opportunity to be the top 5 individually, top 5 running backs in the NFL. And as a tandem, the best. Jahmyr Gibbs has a shot at being the best running back in all of the NFL, who I believe he already is. I don't care. Argue with your mama if you disagree. I don't have the time for it. got a flight after the show.
Right.
So it's just like, so I'm just being
Talk
like,
your shit,
but
man.
that's why I started looking at this thing and I was like, you know what? Maybe some of the things that we argue about, maybe some of the things that we worry about, maybe they're confounded. Because when I look across this roster, there's a bevy of all pros, pro bowlers, stars, underrated players, young players with high potential, and some rookies who, when you look at these specific picks, I saw somebody in the chat say, I like all of these guys that we drafted. That's why I was like, man, this is getting a lot more difficult now to even pick out which unit or position group is the biggest and the baddest on the Lions.
Yeah, and I was told the Lions had an F draft. But anyway, and that's a good point about the linebackers because Derek Barnes went down last year. You didn't have
I'm forgetting
Rodrigo
someone's
last
name.
year. It got to a point where we were signing guys off of the street, essentially, like Quan Alexander, Jamal Adams to come in and play linebacker for this team. And you still got serviceable snaps from those guys as well. So that just tells you right there that your coaching is up to par. But also, a lot of your reserves and guys that you didn't expect to get a lot of playing time that did get playing time, that only makes them better as well because they have that in-game experience now. So now your reserves are just as good. Well, I won't say just as good, but they are up to par and on a level that if your starter goes down, they can hold down the fort while, your starter is out. So I think this team is in a very good position, and the injuries, people just need to realize, man, like 22 guys on an injured list that's a lot, especially even over the course of a 17-game season. That is a lot, and you were missing a lot of key guys at key positions. Now that you're getting some of those guys back and you seem to have drafted well, you drafted for need, I think this team is in a very good position to still be one of the dominant defenses in this league. I do.
What up, Dodger?
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at chat. There's so many funny things going on in chat. First of all, shout out Wheezy. I think he's being sarcastic when he says
Probably.
this. But Justin, there isn't some 10-sack guy on paper that people can predict. Well, actually, Marcus Davenport had 9.5 sacks in his career in one season, and Aiden Hutchinson last year was on pace for over 20.
Big
so
facts.
there's actually two guys on this team that you can look at.
So
and
you tell
see.
me that Aiden Hutchinson was still doing this thing even after Davenport went down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh.
Still supposed to lead the NFL in sacks? Still led the NFL in sacks 4 weeks after he got hurt? That guy?
Yeah.
That guy who's coming back to the team? And like Neil says, the guy that no other team
You know
that's
what?
competing for a championship has, a guy with 15-plus sacks?
That's a good time to segue then. We'll say what up, though, to some friends. We'll get back and we'll talk realistic expectations for Aiden Hutchinson and his defensive line. We got to put our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can either go, you can include a full unit or a position group. So if you just want to single out the safeties, or if you think the safeties plus the cornerbacks, they make that strong enough to say, you know what? No, their secondary is number one, or number two, or number three. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I saw somebody ask, do coaches count? Sure. Why not? But what friends you want to say what up though to JB Smooth?
We got something about Lady James, but first let me tell them about some super chats that we got going on. Once again, shout out to everyone sending in super chats. My bad, Dante. I know I slipped up on this one, but he said, "Man, what happened? I hope the Pacers sweep the Cavs." Damn.
And I hate the Pacers.
$5 from Burns. Shout out. He said, "Well, I'm feeling a bit better after seeing the Celtics choke away a 15-point lead to the Knicks." I don't even know how that's possible. It's actually a 20-point lead as well, too. And $1.99 from Ed O'Neill said, a lot of bad QBs Lions play, not the same this year. So
I ain't gonna say that they defended Jason Tatum the way they defended Cade, and Tatum didn't look the same as Cade.
what that is.
You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Let me tell the people about Lady Jane's. Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff.
We do.
Like JB
we are.
Bickerstaff should have just won the Coach of the Year.
Very
That's
simple.
factual.
Like dumb as hell simple.
it's a layup.
I want to tend to Rabbits George simple.
Would you say it's uncomplicated?
Yes.
We like uncomplicated.
That
People,
was a gimme bucket.
Keep it simple.
keep it simple. Like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Y'all could have been handsome and clean if you just gave the award to JB Bickerstaff. Now you're not handsome and you're dirty. Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. They can help you with that still. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that D-Mac does. Why? Because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. We are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's been a show. That dude Justin just pulled up some stats that actually make this very, very interesting, because I know we're going to do our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the position groups / units of the Lions. And the conversation is really fleshed out that this squad, they won 15 games last season, and they're seemingly or perceivably going to be better once they get healthy than they were then.
Yeah.
But hey, you got that Marcus Davenport pool. Keep that when we start talking about the defensive line and such. We're going to get there quick, but can we come to a congruency? What is that number? That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We all got to be kumbaya on this thing. Is the offensive line still number one?
Yes.
What would you guys do number 2?
Safeties.
Or secondary as a whole.
Hold on, let me write these down because
no, I wouldn't do secondary as a whole.
You sure?
That's where the conversation.
I would do running backs over secondary.
Yeah.
As a whole.
I was looking for a comment that Eric Allen had, but he pretty much said that they did solidify their cornerback room with a lot of veterans as well. Maddox, Rocky Yassin. These are guys, veteran-led guys,
some of the names we forget
that are going to come in and help improve your team. On top of the fact that you added DJ Reed to a mix that you already had TA, you had Amik Robertson and Ennis Rakestraw. So if you take the secondary as a whole with the safeties,
you can. Dang. But
I take the running backs over
running
that
backs.
Yeah.
Still okay. I'm not mad at that though. I'm not.
I'm saying who? If he's saying running backs too. Yeah,
I like running backs.
Running backs. Are you going secondary or safeties right after?
Well, are you keeping the secondary and the safeties together? That's like
you can pull them apart.
Because if you pull them apart, I have them above the running backs. If you keep safeties and secondary apart, I am taking the safeties over the running backs.
For my personal list, I'm keeping the secondary as one unit. So offensive.
I thought this was a combined list.
No, we will allow. You can either go positions or units, and that's where the conversation.
Okay.
That's where the actual conversation gets juicy, because you're exactly right. We know what the safeties are.
So does Laporta count as a receiver?
We'll put him in as receivers. With the
might as well. Yeah.
They're the second best unit on the team then.
Damn. The receivers, okay. The receivers will be third on mine.
I mean, that's my dark horse.
Yeah, the receivers will be third. The defensive line will be fourth on my list.
Hey, look, Skydog went running backs, wide receiver, QB, safety, D-line.
I'm not mad at that.
But no O-line for him.
No O-line at all?
No O-line in his top
crazy.
5.
That's crazy.
Oh,
crazy.
you got to put them in there. You got to. That's literally the
got-
lifeblood of this team.
I think I'm going O-line, safeties, wide receivers, running backs. And it's only because, and I want to put the running backs up there, but it's just because it's only the two of them. And yes, Jahmyr Gibbs, in my opinion, is the best running back in the league, and Demo is somewhere around the top 10. Yeah. But when you add Sam Laporta to that, you have a top 5 tight end, a top 5 wide receiver, and then Jameson Williams, who is who could be, who if he got more volume, I believe would be a top 15 receiver in the NFL. So, I mean, that room is stacked. And then I believe Kirby Joseph is top 3 free safety in the NFL, and arguably the best. And then Brian Branch, top 3 strong safety in the NFL.
All right. And what would be your number 5? Because you said offensive line, safeties, wide receivers, running backs.
D-line.
D-line? All right. What up, though, KG?
All right. So mine is offensive line, secondary, wide receivers, running backs, and then 5th, I would go coaching staff.
Ooh, I like that. So your list one more time. Offensive line.
Offensive line, secondary, wide receivers, defensive line. Oh, I guess running backs would be 5th then. But I want to add the coaches in there somehow.
Do that.
Because our
we'll
coaching staff
we'll
is
keep it there.
in the league.
We'll keep it there.
Okay.
I like that, the coaching staff. And I've seen some people put theirs in the chat as well, man. Weezy D threw in 3. He put 4. I need that 5th one, Weezy D, from you. He says 1 offensive line, 2 defensive line, 3 running backs, and then defensive backs. I'm seeing Super Bowl Cartier. He got offensive line, running backs, wide receivers and tight ends, safeties, and then kickers.
Oh, shit.
You know, that's a good one, boy. Jack Fox.
They deserve a spot in that top 5.
You know what? That's
best punter.
Super
kicker.
My dog. That's my dog, man.
Dante 151. Offensive line, linebackers. You know I like my linebackers, dog.
Big
Safeties, wide receivers, running backs. There's a lot more wide receiver love than I thought we would see.
They slept on, bro.
But that's why I was like, man, when you actually think about this squad, I think we're having a tough time as fans of a team with Super Bowl expectations of realizing they're good.
Yeah.
They're really good. I think we want that Super Bowl so bad that we do start to focus in and zero in on some of the warts rather than zoom out and realize this squad is beautiful. Bro.
They loaded, man.
What up, though?
Ryan, my dog, he just accused me of disrespecting David Montgomery. I did not disrespect David Montgomery. I said he was around the top 10. Like, I don't know how that's disrespect. He's an RB2.
Right.
Best RB2 in the league.
Oh, man. But you know what? I'm seeing a defensive line. Obviously, it's getting some good rank amongst some of the lists that we see in the chat and chat family. Get your top 5 positions and units and for the Detroit Lions. We'll definitely continue to read these. But for that defensive line, you got the Marcus Davenport stat, right? Because we need to talk about what are the realistic expectations for Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, and the Detroit Lions defensive line, how they're going to support Aiden Hutchinson this season. And what were you saying about Davenport? Because we know how last year went, and it wasn't – I don't believe that Brad Holmes is expecting it at all, knock on wood, or else he doesn't re-sign him. But when he got an opportunity to at least be the Davenport we thought we would see, play about 2/3 of the season, what did he do in that time?
When he played in 11 games for the New Orleans Saints, he was able to total 9 sacks in 11 games, and that was his healthiest season by far.
Wow. Wait, 9 sacks in 11 games? And we talk about what Zadarius Smith did here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And he was playing opposite
Cam Jordan.
Yeah, so imagine what he could do next to Hutch if he can just stay on the field.
Is it that easy? Is it that easy for Davenport? It's just stay healthy and you have an excellent tandem, a partner for Aiden Hutchinson?
We talked about it yesterday. Whenever Marcus Davenport's name is brought up, it's always about injury. It is never. I've never heard anybody speak about his play on the field. And I think the Lions know that as well, which is why they continue to take chances on someone like that, because they feel like, yes, if you can get him to play at least 12 to 13 games at a minimum, he can have a great impact on this Lions defense. And you saw it in a very, very small, I repeat, a very small sample size last year. But when he was on the field with Hutch, it was effective. You saw him being able to collapse the pocket and kind of help Aiden, on the other side. And that's only going to be helped with the fact that your interior is so damn good as well, being able to take up double teams and things of that nature. So, yeah, I really think they are in a good position. But once again, it's the health concern with Marcus Davenport, and that's the thing that you can't predict.
That's the thing you can't predict. But if he does stay healthy, this is a defensive line that I'm hoping that, as like we said, we want our team to be perfect. So I do believe we zero in on all of the different imperfections. But when I just kind of started looking at this, I was like, yo, this defensive line could be one of the nastiest in the league. They've already been one of the nastiest in the league. And this one presents the most potential that we've seen out of any defensive line in the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell era.
And I get it, man. The mobile quarterbacks are coming. Listen, we get it, man. We understand this has been a problem.
The British are coming.
Right. The mobile quarterbacks are coming. We understand that this has been a problem for multiple years in this town. But once again, I think it's something that you can fix schematically. You don't have to necessarily have a speedy edge rusher, in order to stop a mobile quarterback. And shout out to WeezyD313. This is kind of like epitomizes what fans are feeling right now. He said, I heard a caller on the flagship say emotionally he wanted the Tigers to fail because they didn't do what he wanted. The same sentiment is for our Lions.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
This new era of Detroit sports fans is wild,
It's
man.
wild.
People were hating on their stars, wanting to see the young players fail, wanting to see the team fail because they didn't do what you wanted them to do. Look, we sat here for how many trade deadlines and seasons, KG? It's 2 now. You've been here a long time, brother. It's been 2. I remember us being in here 2 years ago, bro, or 2 seasons ago at the trade deadline talking about they need to do more. And Brad Holmes stepped to the podium and said, we have enough.
Yeah. And he was right. To a degree, he was right. And I understand we haven't cracked the big one yet, and that's what we all want. And the more that this goes on, the more pressure is going to be about,
what?
Getting that Super Bowl.
We're a championship-starved city. We're a city of high degree.
Yeah.
We're a city that's used to this. We're a city that, our worst years are, dang, we lost in the finals, or we got bounced in the playoffs, but we made 6 straight Eastern Conference finals. We went to the finals back-to-back. We already know what the Red Wings did. Yeah. Hey, Hockey Town. Why was that a thing? Because they owned hockey.
Yep.
Mr. Illich, he literally was like, this is mine. So much so that USA Hockey is in Plymouth, Hockey Town is in Detroit, and we got some cups. It's just like, golly,
but with the Lions, you were more than just championship starved. You were just starving for good football. And that's what Brad Holmes...
We were competency starved.
Exactly. And this is what Brad Holmes has provided you. So I get it. We Brad bots. We kiss the feet of Brad Holmes. I get it, man. But until further notice, I'm going to continue to be a Brad bot until further notice because he's done nothing to show me otherwise that we're going backwards. The day we go backwards is the day I'll come up here and I'll say we went backwards.
And that's what I do. I just kind of breathe in, breathe out, and I trust what the defensive line is going to be, especially when you talk about we know we can trust the depth. You know how I know? See last year as a reference.
Yeah.
If you need. So I already know the depth is going to perform so good that we can get to 15-2. I know that. And now we're adding our dogs back. It's just a matter of how healthy are they going to be as this thing goes on.
Didn't they do something in the middle of the season to help their edge position? What is that thing?
I think it was a trade.
I can't remember that thing in the middle of the season where it's some type of deadline.
Yeah, I think they called it a trade deadline.
And didn't they trade for someone that was top 5 in pressures in the NFL for the rest of the season?
Wait, they just got that at the trade deadline?
And what did they give up for that at the trade deadline?
I think a 5th round.
A 5th round pick? Really?
6th? Yeah. Not even in the same year.
Talk about our GMs cooking up.
So you're saying that if they are worried about Marcus Davenport and they feel like he doesn't have the health to make it the full season, that they can halfway through the season decide that they're going to trade for an edge?
Yeah.
For very low price.
And we
Justin,
talked
what a
about
concept.
what a concept. We talked about Brad Holmes' ability to keep himself flexible for the trade deadline. Why? Because he says we don't know what our needs are going to be. What if a bigger need than pass rush shows up by the trade deadline?
Ooh.
You don't think that Brad Holmes knows injuries can happen?
Yeah.
So why not keep your flexibility if you do believe in the team that you've assembled? You're never going to put together the perfect team. But you can put together a team that's better than everybody else's. Mm-hmm. And if you got that squad and you know what you've done to be able to get it there, then why not keep your flexibility? Because we don't know what's going to happen. Knock on wood. But after last year, I honestly value the flexibility at this point in time more so than them just going out there and taking a flyer on an edge, unless it's a Darius Smith.
Right. But once again, another reason why I get up here and I brag by, for some of the people in the comments is because he's transparent. He's told you every step of the way what he wants to do and what is going to happen, and he has lived up to that. He told you that trading for an edge in this league is one of the hardest things he's had to do. Why? Because it's a premier position in this league, and if you got a good one, you don't want to give them up. Even if they're, maybe not star level, but they're that next tier down in terms of Zadarius Smith. What did the Cleveland Browns try to do? They were trying to extort him for a third-round pick all the way up until the deadline. And then they finally had to settle on a fifth and a sixth the year after.
Hey, come here, bro.
Exactly.
This is how I was gonna go.
I'm the captain.
I am the
right. But seriously, it's not
I am
easy.
El Jefe.
It's right, but it's once
Coach
again that just
Popovich.
leads to our point that it's hard to get book-end edges in this league, bro, because teams, if you have them, even the losing ones, you don't want to give those type of players up.
Especially when you like, I want me to pull a Justin. You guys liked when Amon-Ra St. Brown got the bag, right?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't like when Panay got the bag, though.
Oh, no, I loved it.
Or, Jared Goff. Well, that one's divisive. Let me take him out of there.
Yeah, don't even throw that one there.
Kirby Joseph got the bag, right?
Somebody said Jared
Well,
Goff?
sometimes the way that we see Brad Holmes doing things, think about it. You want him to go out there and take a chance on an edge, or do you want him to lock down the dogs we know has gotten us this far so far?
Yeah.
And then we have potential. We got the internal growth. We got some new coaches. We got some new players. And you got the flexibility of the trade deadline. You got something else to say? I'm going to read because we got some more top 5 lists in here as
and
well.
he's been known to be active. We also know that he tried to go after Daniil Hunter in 2023. So this is somebody that's been very active around the trade deadline, man.
And I guess the question before we read these off is the realistic expectations for Hutch and Aleem. Like, are you guys expecting, Aiden Hutchinson to be that guy? Because if you have that tweet from Doug Kleiman, this thing went national. I'm seeing articles about this. You go and you Google Detroit Lions or Aiden Hutchinson. These are the top headlines that are on these articles. And it's all revolving around the fact that there's buzz amongst the Lions fans right now because Aiden Hutchinson, but it's all dealing with concern for how he looked on the videos and training and such. And it's crazy to see. Hey, do you mind reading that off real quick, JB?
Oh, yeah. It's a shout out to Dove Kleiman for sending this. He said, many fans are worried that Lions star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson won't be back for the start of the NFL season as he still seems to be struggling on his previous injured leg.
That's where people are at right now. Now, I've seen other people from Dr. Pierce to, some people's other, social media doctors state that he is not just right on target, but ahead of target. And by the time training camp is here, he's going to be in a position, if everything continues on the trends it is, to be a full goal. Period.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to be able to ask you guys, what are those realistic expectations for Aiden Hutchinson, and then eventually by week 5 or 6, hopefully for Aleem McNeil too.
Yeah, first and foremost, this post is a little disingenuous. Yeah. Because one, Dove Kleiman not really being a local guy, not really seeing what we have seen from some of those videos. And people got to realize it's called rehab for a reason. We've been kind of spoiled because we've seen a lot of videos of Aiden Hutchinson looking great. Since he got injured in his recovery process. We've seen him running. We've seen him kind of looking like he's back to
We don't
his
even know if that
self.
video was at the end of the workout.
Exactly.
We have no idea.
Like, we've been spoiled with all of these good videos. Oh, Aiden's looking great. He looks like he's going to be in rare form when he comes back. You don't see the hard days. You don't see the struggles. It is called rehab for a reason. You have good days and you have bad days. So I feel like this video and that caption is a little disingenuous by Dove Kleiman. Shout out to him though.
Yeah.
He's a great reporter, but it's a little bit disingenuous. But overall, Aiden Hutchinson will be ready. They were talking about this guy possibly playing in the Super Bowl. Like, so if you mean to tell me that he could have played.
I did see some fans who were like questioning it. Now,
And
like,
I
man, there ain't
was
no
too.
way he could have played in the Super Bowl. There's no way. You see that video, you getting these fans who are concerned. And I believe it's the ones that are the farthest from the Brad Bros. I believe that they're allowing, and that's why we talked about these position groups, they're allowing their inability to just get on board with what Brad Holmes is doing, which has brought a lot of success to this point. They're mad at what the edge position is.
Right.
And then they double down on these concepts that Hutch might not be ready to. Look what Brad Holmes has done to us.
Yeah, like
He
come
should
on,
have
bro.
did more to address.
But I think Hutch will be a full go by the time the season starts, and I do think that he can be a double-digit sack
10
guy.
plus sacks
Now, I
would be
won't
nice.
say the stratosphere of sacks. I won't say 17 or 18, but I feel like Hutch can come
12
back.
plus?
12 plus.
What's the
yeah.
floor?
I think
Is
12
12
plus.
a good floor?
I think 12 is a good.
Yeah.
That dude Justin got this big old grin on his face. What floor are you about to set?
I think Justin sees more.
14.
14? That's
Talk
the
to me
floor?
about the expectations for Hutch this season.
I expect Aiden Hutchinson to come back very strong from this injury. Like they said when they were talking about how the injury went down, it was a clean break. He didn't touch any of his tendons or anything that could affect his burst motion and his burst of speed coming off the line and the edge. And I think that like KG said, I think you hit the nail right in the head. You never see the bad days.
Yeah.
Like as someone, I've had to rehab some major injuries, and they suck.
Yeah.
They're awful.
I've seen the rehab process. It's not fun.
And it's not fun, but no matter how much it hurt or how much I was grimacing, I knew it was for the best, and it was going to make me come back stronger, and I did every single time. So I know that Aiden Hutchinson will be doing something similar. He looks like he is a new man. Like the video of him running and like running in a serpentine motion,
Yeah.
like that was so impressive for him to be doing right now. He looks fast, he looks loose, he looks strong. I don't really have a question if whether or not, oh, there it is, hype.
Thank you, JB.
A question of whether or not Aiden Hutchinson's going to be ready or not. They said that he's going to be ready. I trust the doctors. Sorry, Dove. I trust doctors over you. And if doctors said that he could have played in the Super Bowl, there is no reason why I should doubt that he won't be ready for the beginning of the season.
Hey,
Point blank.
Point blank. Point blank. And that's why I'm glad that I'm seeing the doctors that do weigh their opinion and give their opinion on these matters. They're all saying that he's going to be good to go. And that's where if he's going to be good to go, the realistic expectations based on what we've seen him be, I am expecting at least 12 plus sacks. That's why I don't really scoff at that dude Justin saying he's expecting 14 plus sacks out of Aiden Hutchinson, especially when you consider what Brad Holmes did go and cook up to make sure that this defensive line can be a little bit more nasty than it was last year. And all that we're hoping for, if Davenport is healthy, that to me is where you're playing with a little bit of a dynamite. It's just how much can you actually depend on that expectation. But even when you remove the Davenport equation, we've still seen this defensive line be really good with Aiden Hutchinson just going insane out there with less interior help than he's supposed to have this season.
And there's questions in the chat right now about his burst and about how the mental capacity will affect his burst and maybe make him second guess.
That's really the biggest part is the mental aspect.
And I agree with that. But there's a thing that I've learned being around athletics my entire life, and there are guys like Aiden Hutchinson, and when you meet a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, that's a type of guy who has you can't break them. They are so mentally strong and they are so tough physically that they don't make those types of judgments. And I don't want to be speaking for Aiden Hutchinson, but the way that he carries himself and then he talks to the media and just as a general human being, he has this strength to him that he is like the Chad Tough stuff and where his help with the community and that stuff, and it's promising kids that he's going to beat Ohio State. Like, you have to be sick in the head to be promising kids to beat Ohio State when you haven't beat them in 4 years or in 10 years.
Or you know what you have to be? Where is he from?
Michigan.
He's personally invested in make sure the Detroit Lions can win.
Absolutely.
And you could see that.
You can see that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we in Detroit, of all people, we pick ourselves up by the bootstrap. Nothing can keep us down. Those same people are concerned about Hutch, of all players.
It's crazy.
That, to me, is just like, come on, guys, get right. He is us.
Right.
If anything. He's not one of the adopted. He's just like us. And he's heard about these sports teams just like us. And he's still, that's why I'm glad you did highlight the fact that Aiden Hutchinson hasn't stopped anything. He got injured, and you know what? He was still going and supporting all of the community stuff that he does. Those are some of the first things he made was the community stuff, and we were helping as well to amplify it as much as we could. And then what were some of the early videos we saw? This man running in the water on the treadmill.
Right.
And Dr. Pierce said, yeah, he's way ahead of schedule right now.
Exactly.
But it's indicative of what Justin is bringing up now. He said, but it's who he is up top. He said the mental aspect of it, he said, is 50% of the healing for athletes in rehab. And we see that Aiden Hutchinson is not defeated in his mind at all.
No.
And then you see the doctor saying his body's going to follow suit. He's building up muscle right now. And what I like is he's doing it the football way. When I got to college, we had actual trainers, not like coaches and people who are in the community or boosters or dads and such, or the OG. Actual trainers who they were like, why are you even lifting weights that way? You will get better at the sport of basketball utilizing the elastic bands this way than going in there and pump. He was like, you need to train your body for basketball. We see Hutchinson, and that's why I chuckle when he used the word serpentine running, but it's reality.
Yeah.
He's doing football work to get ready for football. And sometimes that's going to be stop, start, boost, burst, and that type of muscle building takes a little bit more time than when you see a guy going and just leg day, put all of them on there like our TGTs that we see often on What's Trending.
No, shout out, man. And that's a great point by you, Kool-Aid. And shout out to Dr. Pierce, because he even brought this up. Like somebody that's young, like an Aiden Hutchinson, when you get to the point that he gets to, college star, gets to the NFL, he's one of the best players in the NFL, you think that you know how to take care of your body. But when you incur an injury like this, that's a whole different level of things you need to learn, things you need to, do in order to keep your body a certain way. And now that he has that kind of knowledge, he's going to be better for it. And we've heard doctors talk about it. I'm not worried, man. He's going to be fine. It's just about how quick can he get over the mental aspect, because there is a point in which he has to realize, like, okay, my leg is going to be fine. I can go full speed 100%. And you're not going to get that until you put those pads on and you lined up against the opposition in a regular season football game. But overall, Aiden Hutchinson's his thought process is much like the way he plays. He's high motor. He's gonna bring it. He's gonna give his all, and that's all we could ask for, bro. He's gonna be fine.
Yep. And you know what? Here I got some of these rankings before we do maybe a couple questions, and then you can save the rest of it for tomorrow. A couple days of switch for break. I know you got a couple.
I do.
I want to get to a few of those, and we'll get some what's trending too. But Ed O'Neill, he says number 1, offensive line. This is the position / unit. Rankings of the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Oh shoot! It just went away. If you see any extra ones, I'm gonna get the screenshot I took of his. Actually, I'm glad I did that.
He must be a little behind, but yeah.
Yeah, number 1 offensive line, number 2 defensive backs, number 3 wide receivers, number 4 running backs, number 5 the D line. He does believe this though. If Aleem is healthy, he thinks the D line will actually be number 4 and running backs pushed down to number 5. I see Lions Fanimal says number 1 offensive line, number 2 running backs. Oh man, I can't see what number 3 is. Number 4 wide receivers, number 5 quarterbacks.
Oh, quarterbacks getting some
I
love.
saw
Watch
somebody
out.
earlier. I think it might have been Chili in the chat who said quarterbacks ain't getting no love. Oh, and he passed the DB. So Lions Fanimal, number 1 offensive line, number 2 running backs, number 3 defensive backs, number 4 wide receivers, number 5 quarterbacks. And has anybody been surprised that the quarterbacks haven't really gotten any love?
No, because it's not a unit. It's a singular
entity.
One person.
Right. That's why I didn't pick him.
Yeah, but we all know Jared Goff is, well, most of us know that Jared Goff is a arguably top 5 quarterback in this
Shout out
league.
to the chat family for providing this stuff too, man. Jeff Lewis. I haven't seen that name much in the chat, but shout out to Jeff Lewis. Thank you for being here. And Jamie Cowan. They both sitting in their top 5. Jeff says number 1 O-line, number 2 wide receivers, number 3 running backs, number 4 defensive backs, number 5 kickers.
Hey,
Jamie Cowan.
Shout out Jake Bates.
We got more kickers on these lists today.
The quarterback.
And I get it.
I mean, Jack Fox, Jake Bates, that's a pretty good tandem.
Pretty good. Jamie Cowan, offensive line, wide receiver, DBs, defensive line, running backs, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Interesting.
And we do got a super chat, $4.99 from Ryan's reaction. Over or under, Davenport plays 9.5 games in 2025. Are you taking that over?
Under.
Oh, after you drop those power stats? After you tell me that the defensive line is going to be potentially one of the strengths,
I do think it's going to be one of the strengths. But I'm not. Like if you're gonna
put your money where your mouth was.
If you're gonna point a gun to my head and tell me if my life relies on Marcus Davenport playing 9.5 games, I'm taking the under.
No, understandable.
But Brad Holmes has faith, and I will call him my Brad Bottism. And I say I believe in his plan. And even if the plan doesn't work, like I said, you can still go get someone else because there's two things that exist called free agency and the trade deadline.
Bro, it can't be under, dog. It cannot.
What up, JB? He's on there cracking up.
I just like how Justin was like immediately under. Immediately
Right. No
under.
hesitation.
After he came out with all these stats about Davenport, it's just like under. Nope, not happening.
That's going to be the biggest topic leading into the season. Is he
question.
will he or won't he be healthy? Like, and you feel bad because I talked about this when I was on Motor City Don P show, bro. This is a person that we're talking about. Like, there is a man under the name of Marcus Davenport that, he don't want to be fucking injured every fucking season, man. So I really would like to see him get over 8.5. I think we get at least 12.
I hope so, man.
At least 12. We got to. Man.
I hope that it's just like he starts the season and then he gets like a minor injury midway through, and then he comes back in the end of the season and rides us out into the Super Bowl. I mean,
bro.
I don't think we're gonna avoid an injureless season from him.
You said 11 games was the most he's played in a season.
Well, he
13.
did that. 13, but he did 11 the season before he joined the Lions.
Damn, 13 is the most games.
And he balled out though.
Yeah, well,
he did ball out.
Once again, we ain't talking about the whole field play. We all know he a dog when he on the field. Oh my god.
Super Bowl Cartier. Golf can play
Davenport.
DN. Let's run it.
There you go.
We getting 12 from Davenport, man. I'm convinced.
12. Hey,
The
what
law
about
of
you, JB?
averages just says that eventually he has to have a healthy season.
What about you, JB Smooth?
I kind of got to agree
taking
with
the over under.
I think I'm gonna take the over on this one. I gotta agree with KG. It's the law of average. He has to at least have one healthy season. There has to be one healthy season for him coming up, and hopefully it's here with Detroit. So, give me the over.
I don't know if he has many hurt seasons left in his tank. I can't
No,
lie.
for real. Like
at what point do you just like, damn, I can't stay healthy for a whole season. I'm gonna hang him up.
You got
has to happen.
You got to take into account what the Lions might do to try to supplement that too. Like, yes, he might be the starter, but his snap count might not be what we think it is. Like the percentage of snaps across the game. So yeah, we just got to see, man. I know they'll try to do things to try to limit, his injury opportunities, but
Yo, you had Arf crashing out. He thought we were talking about Hutch this whole time. He said, oh, crap.
no.
Right.
I thought I heard Hutch over under.
No.
No.
Hutch under 8.5 games. No
That's
way.
a disaster.
No fucking way.
Goodness gracious, man. But this was fun. I saw a couple more people send in their top 5 rankings for the Lions position groups. I'm going to send you and KG's as well, Justin, so we can get that up on socials and see what the people there think too. But a couple people are really liking this offensive line, obviously. But
You have to.
yeah,
It's the lifeblood.
But still, I see Stick has entered the chat. Still no love for those quarterbacks, man.
Stick was also in here talking about Hutch go get 100 sacks, 10 a game or something like that.
Oh,
I saw you say he's
sorry.
starting a podcast called Inside Jared Goff.
Whoa. Hey,
Stick said
Pause.
Stick does want to be inside Jared Goff. We
Pause.
all know that, man.
Yeah,
He has
I'm
unnatural
thinking
love
of
for
starting a
this man.
podcast called Inside Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is inside of him. He would tell you that.
Hey, pause.
Pause
Deep with it.
Oh man, hey JB Smooth, let's clean up some super.
Jared Goff is ET and Stick is the little white boy.
Oh my god.
We might have to actually Photoshop that. That would be funny. Stick
I
on the
swear,
mic
bro.
with Jared Goff and with the blanket over his.
JG phone home.
I need to say Stick. We gotta do some content, bro. JG, hold on. Dog.
Yo.
Let's clean up those super chats, brother.
All right, shout out to
gracious.
everyone sitting in super chats, man. $4.99. I got Ed O'Neill. He said, if the Lions turn into a top 5 defense, but the offense is ranked 10 or 12, are you still okay with that? Defense wins championships. I hope we play Philly and the Bengals early. What do you guys think?
I don't know if can this offense survive being 12th in the NFL?
No.
I don't.
I can't even see where they would be 12. That would be that would mean a major regression in some area.
Happened.
So no, this Lions offense is at least top 10 at the very least, but I still think they top 5 because all of your pieces are still there. Like you just got a new coordinator, but he's not gonna reinvent the fucking wheel.
Yeah, that's that's a harsh one, man. 10 to 12, I don't even see that being a possibility.
Yeah, I can't even fathom it. I can't.
Sheesh. Hey, what else do we got, brother?
Shout out to Burns sending in $5. He said, on my way home, and I realized I have been driving by Model T school in Hudsonville for years. There is a pasture full of cows right next door. Dog.
Wow.
He also sent in another $5. He said, doctors tell fans he should be 100% and should hit the ground running after he shakes the rust off. Lions fans, it's over. It's the 80s all over again. It's over. We're done. It's done.
Right.
I see you, DNCENT. He says comeback player of the year odds per Caesars. Shout out, man, for supporting Caesars, the sponsor.
Yep.
But he says Dak plus 275, CMC plus 300, and Hutch plus 300.
Yeah, I think Hutch is a shoe-in for that, but we got to see it.
You
on
know,
the field.
you already know what's about to happen. He gonna get screwed. It's the Detroit versus everybody way. It's how we started the show, but
no, I ain't gonna lie.
He's still gonna be a dog.
If K don't get all NBA, we riot, bro. Like we need to hit the streets.
If he makes all NBA third team, we riot. But it would just be like, okay, you know, like well, whatever.
Yeah,
Top
at
15,
least they gave it to him.
Sure,
Right.
But he's supposed to get all NBA second team.
Yeah.
Period, man. Period.
And most improved. Like both of those got to happen now that JB didn't get coach of the year. Because I felt like that one was like, you just chopped that up.
Yep. Hey, but JB Smooth, I'm going to read ADiz 411. Shout out to ADiz. He says, ADiz 411, offensive line, running back, defensive back, wide receiver, and defensive line for his top 5 positions / units on the Lions. So I like that. Lunchbox also said, Kool-Aid, did we also forget there are post-draft signings that can still happen? Yeah. The Detroit Lions, they've left themselves all the flexibility and freedom to be able to improve this team still, man. Still. That's what I love about Brad Holmes and what he's done. Not just improve the team. Still, we saw him also go to bolster the future.
Yeah.
All our guys are locked down. He's doing all of this stuff effectively at a rate that we haven't seen. I don't know any of our teams really do. When you think about how our previous winners were put together, you could talk about the capless era in NHL, so you understand what you could do there. You could talk about capless era in baseball and what you can do there. And we know when they spent, they got the players. When you talk about even with the Pistons and the way that Joe Dumars kind of put things together, he wasn't able to sustain it. And he did win a championship. So right now, you have him still elevated above Brad Holmes if you were going to rank things. But in terms of what Brad Holmes is doing to manage everything and keep this team at a position where a Super Bowl, a championship window is the expectation, he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, he's right there, bro. But I'm not concerned. I'm just Brad Biden, man. So it is what it is.
Hey, listen, I'm a Brad bro, too. But let's say what up, though, to some friends. Who you want to say what up, though, to? JB Smooth.
Mad Packs, and follow us on socials.
Hey, let's talk to the good people about Mad Packs. I'm here to tell you about Mad Packs, the hottest new cannabis brand, and they are partnering with your boys over here at Woodward Sports. You know what that means, man. I'm gonna be high all Tiger season long. That's the whole summer, baby. Mad Pack's gonna take your game to the next level. High Low is getting you high for the low, delivering top tier quality at unbeatable prices. For my boy Kool-Aid over there, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Is a live resin infused tarantula. This one is the bomb. Blizzard packs, THCA moon rocks that hit like a blizzard, coming to retailers this month. That's right, this month. So link up with the people at Mad Packs and stay tuned to Woodward Sports for all the latest updates.
And follow us on socials.
Stay connected with Woodward Sports on all social platforms. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok for the latest sports news, live updates, and behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out, man. Hit that follow button now and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. And if you haven't hit that like button, smash that like button. At Woodward Sports everywhere.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
No one gives gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
All right, sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or simply chilling at home, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products, 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close nearby you. But don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are popping up your way very, very soon. If you don't have time to check out all their products in store, they have them posted online for you at jarscannabis.com, or check them out on their Instagram at @jars_life, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Hell yeah, I want to get high, JB. And while, you know, I'm doing that, I want to look for a new car too. And Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for not just me, but everybody that's shopping for a car right now. Get a 2025 Envision all-wheel drive for only $259 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation for only $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Hey, welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and you know, I'm seeing some stuff here in the chat, and I know we're gonna get a couple of these Swisher Break questions out.
Oh yeah,
you know, Swisher Break on the way.
Swisher Break,
and
man.
you're gonna definitely go through the rest of them with the people tomorrow. So I can't wait to be tapped in. But I was having a difficult time trying to come up with my 5, man.
Really?
I'm so serious, because I was like, how do I get linebackers on here?
Yeah, linebackers 1, linebackers 2, linebackers 3, and then everything else.
O-line, running backs, defensive line, safeties, wide receiver, tight end.
Hold on, say that again.
Offensive line.
Okay.
I got running backs high, man. Running backs 2, defensive line 3. I am high on the defensive line.
Okay.
I am very, very high on the defensive line.
Okay.
4 safeties, 5 wide receivers / tight ends. I was
fair.
going back and forth between them and linebackers, but
yeah,
Amon-Ra and J-Mo, man, Sam Laporta.
I like your list though. It's interesting, man.
Goodness, yeah. I got all of them. I'm gonna send them over to that dude Justin. We'll get those up on socials.
Oh, that's gonna create some conversation.
It is, and I see Damian McClendon too. Before I kick it over to you, he says, because he's throwing shade at you.
Ooh.
Yeah, he said if you think Calvin Shepard, John Morton are gonna outcoach Ben Johnson, and he says, and Dennis Allen, I'll wait.
Ooh, damn, man.
You just invalidated your own comment. Dennis Allen? What the fuck has he done? Dennis fucking Allen. What are we talking about today?
I would assume he meant Aaron Glenn. Wrong black guy.
Right. Dennis Allen. Listen. First of all, we made Ben Johnson. Let's just get that.
Get him, Black Arrow.
We created Ben Johnson. Secondly, what the fuck has Dennis Allen done? Like, just please point to me his resume, please. But I digress. But you want to get in the Swisher Break?
Let's rock, man.
All right, man. Y'all know what it is. Swisher Break. JB, if you can throw that glorious graphic up, I would greatly appreciate it.
Swisher Break.
And, Big Willie style, play me some pimping, man. You know I need some background music, man. I need some background noise. All right.
I got you right there.
This is a May in the D favored Swish or Brick or Swisher Break, whatever your preference. We are going to go across 3 of our 4 teams and just talk about some things. But number 1, the Tigers. The Tigers have 28 games in the month of May and have already won 3. The Tigers will finish this month 22-6. Swish or brick?
One more time.
All right.
Deliberate.
The Tigers have 28 games in the month of May and have already won 3. The Tigers will finish this month 22-6. Swish or brick? And while you deliberating, I will go pull up what their month looks like. Opponent.
Yeah, because they got an A in the month of April too.
Yep.
They were one of the best teams in all of baseball. We definitely know that. Do we know what their April win total was?
Oh, you do?
Hey, dope.
Rockies, Rangers, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Cardinals, Guardians.
Damn, they got a chance.
Giants. 2 games against the Orioles.
20, and you said that they had 26. 26.
Yeah, they got
They've already
28
played
games in the
3.
month and they've already won 3.
25. How many series total? Was it like seven series, I think?
Around that.
Jeez.
8.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
break on this one. I'm gonna go break. Golly. I'm seeing some swishes. though.
That's a huge
I'm
number.
seeing some swishes just in case 21-7, so just outside of what I said. But
That's only dropping 1 game in every single one of those series.
which is a
Yeah,
possibility for this Tigers thing.
It definitely, it's a possibility, but that's a tough ask.
It is. But you would say, all right. So do you want to go around the room? What would you say, Kool-Aid? What was your answer to that?
I would say break. I believe similar. They're going to win a lot of these series, but I can see them dropping a game per series or one series where they just lose it altogether. And I do believe they're going to come close, but they're going to miss out just barely.
All right, JB. Tigers got 28 games in the month of May and have already won 3. Will the Tigers finish this month 22-6? Swish or brick?
I gotta go brick. I love this team, but as Justin said, that's a pace that I don't think you can sustain all throughout May. There's going to be some stumbles and some fumbles here and there, and it's not going to be terribly bad, but still at the same time, I don't think they can. So this is a brick for me.
And Justin, you leaning towards brick, already know.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards brick. I just think that's just a really tall ask of a team that's already playing such good baseball. I think.
Get Matt Verlin back during the month.
I know. I think that a more accurate record would be 19-10.
That ain't too far off from what I said.
I know, but I mean the three game buffer is a big buffer. I mean, that's a big difference. That's like you could lose a series and still get to that number, but you can't lose a series and get to your number.
No, you're right. Cavassier, are you jumping in on this?
I mean, they're not going to go 22-6. They're probably going to lose a couple more games.
All right.
So,
all right. Willie, you got anything?
I call it a break because baseball is a freak of sport, especially in the season. So in that case, they could win more games, but you could drop a sink of 1, 2, 3 games because you never know because baseball is very up and down.
Hard to predict.
It's bipolar, what I mean, when it comes to the wins.
I feel you because they started off.
You go up and you go down.
Just to be different, I'll go ahead and say switch on this.
They were 18-9 for the month of April.
18-9.
18-9, but they've already started off this month undefeated.
With 3 wins, 3 out of 4.
Yep, and you know what? There was a couple games that they dropped that they shouldn't have. They could have ended April with 6 losses, but there are those games that happen like that.
I think this team is getting better as the months go on. There is a really good chance you could get Matt Verlin back. I hear that he's already, playing some rehab games, so that's good.
Yeah, he started a rehab game yesterday.
So there's a very good chance you'll get him back. And I think these Tigers bats are just starting to wake up, and that's the crazy part. If they can get even better from what we've already seen, like when the summer weather comes, oh my God, this team is going to be dangerous. But I'll go ahead and say switch because to this point, they haven't dropped a lot of consecutive games. And I think that's something that's been slept on this year. They haven't dropped a lot of, if any, consecutive games this year. And it definitely hasn't been more than 2 or 3 at a time. So they've made a habit of winning series. And as long as you can go out there and win series, I think if you drop 1 game out of a series, I don't think it's the biggest deal. Of course, the Guardian series is the biggest factor of this month. But I'll say switch just to be different. Why not?
Swish?
Why not?
I can see the swish. I'll be honest. I can definitely see the swish, especially when the only real good opponents we play are Cleveland, the Giants, and the Red Sox.
Nah, big facts. My mic is on, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I see people talking about the mic in the chat. But let's go to number 2. The Lions 2025 draft will be more valuable than the Lions 2024 draft. Swish or brick?
2025 draft more valuable than the 2024 draft.
Oh yeah, I'm making you work for your last day.
And this is over their careers, not this year, or is it this year?
I guess you can chop it up anyway. I pretty much like what is your trajectory for what the 2025 picks will be, as opposed to what the 2024 trajectory was or is?
Because I mean, TA and Ennis Rakestraw, they're going to have a lot to say about about the draft.
Like,
but
I look at this 2025 draft as you got potentially 2 future starters, and you have a guy that can be your number 3 wide receiver going forward. So I think that maybe that is more value than what you got in 2024.
I think we drafted 3 starters.
When this year or last year?
Oh, you're talking about starting this year? Like in 2025, I think we drafted a starter. I just think that Frazier will not start this year.
Yeah, but he'll be a
starter in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you think he's a future starter? Oh shit. Well, he very well could be. But this is why the question: do you think that you will get more value out of the 2025 draft than the 2024 draft?
Who was our 3rd last year? Why am I forgetting who it is?
That's Giovanni Manu.
I thought he was our 4th.
No, I thought he was 3rd.
He was our 3rd pick, but it was in the 4th round.
Okay, all right.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, JB. I'm gonna go with this year's draft.
I'm gonna lean towards this.
I just think that you drafted a bona fide starter in Ratledge. You drafted your future DT1 in Tyleik Williams. You drafted a extremely high ceilinged wide receiver 3, and then you drafted another future starter in Frazier.
For all intents and purposes, we drafted our DT1 that's starting the season. Well, I know that
yeah.
Lee McNeil is going to be the guy, but they also talked about Tyleik Williams having an opportunity to be able to earn that spot.
Yeah.
And when we talked about why would they go there, you look at how important that interior is. And shout out to Gavassi because we understand building up that middle. Was it the meat in the middle?
Yeah,
that's
the meat
that
in
to
the
me.
middle.
Yeah, especially if Aiden Hutchinson has a great season because of what Tyleik Williams and the interior is able to contribute early on. Definitely.
I'm seeing a lot of swishes in the chat too.
I'm
man.
going
We're gonna go over some of these answers, but so far you have swish.
I'm going swish.
JB, what is your swish on this? Is the 2025 draft more valuable than the 2024 draft, or will it be?
I got to go with a brick on this one. I'm sorry. And I love the guys from our current draft that we have right now, but I still see a lot more faith on our previous draft. You still got TA. You still got Enos Rankstraw. I'm still waiting to see what you have in, as you said, Christian Mahogany, Giovanni Manu, and also Sione Vaki.
Vaki was in that draft.
And Makai Wingo. Almost forgot about Makai Wingo as well too. I'm still waiting to see those guys, and I have a lot of faith in them only because, as you know, crazy college fans as me and Justin are, we've been watching these guys from college, so we want to see them have great NFL careers. So
very close.
Shout out to Makai Wingo. I'm still rooting for them in the previous class, so this is a brick for me.
This is closer than I thought it was, but do you have an official answer, Justin? Swish or brick? 2025 will be more valuable than the 2024 draft.
Brick. I'm gonna go with brick because I think that TA has another level to him. I think you haven't seen Rakestraw yet, and I think he has at least the potential to be I think Rakestraw is the one that swings it because you're gonna have you have a starter on the offensive line from Mahogany. You have a swing on Giovanni Manu. You have the versatility of Vaki. I agree with JB. I do like Wingo a lot. I love that pick. I think there's a lot more in the tank there, and I just think that group has a lot of playmakers, and this group, it kind of relies on Tesla. If
you think so,
if they were to be better than 2024, I think that the definitive factor is the fact of if Tesla is as good as he could be. I think that's the factor of what swings me the most because I do think that Rakestraw has a higher potential or a higher floor than Tesla.
Or as good as we're projecting him to be.
I mean, that's not bad reason.
I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad reason.
Candidates that could swing it for either draft. If Tesla balls out, then this becomes something very, very.
If Tesla balls out, it will easily be the 2025 class.
Question.
It won't even be close.
Man, damn. I like what they did in the trenches though, man. On both sides of the ball with Radledge and with Williams, with Tyleek. And to me, both of those guys are going to be sure in the rotation. But for what Tyleek Williams, if he earns more than just a rotation spot while they're waiting for Liam McNeil to get back, I believe that's already
if he comes in as a day one starter, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying, because you're going to have effectively him doing similar to what we saw TA do. And that's where I do like when you start to, and that was starting from day one. Yeah. That's where I do like him pulling out the aspects that could swing this thing. And that's where you're looking at what Ennis Rakestraw could be. You're looking at what Tesla could be. Yeah. And we understand they got high hopes for both of those players.
And speaking of meat, the man that asked for the meat to be on this team, I got to get his answer. Cavassier, and can you play some more music, Willie B? Appreciate it. Just a little bit lower. But Cavassier Chase, you wanted the meat on this team and you got it. Is the 2025 draft more valuable than the 2024 draft?
Mr. Meat.
In terms of like, what do you mean nice value? Like, I think if we're talking about like on the field next year, I think the second year players are going to be more valuable than the rookies coming into this season. As far as like, how are they going to help the Lions? I don't think that's really a question. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, are we going to ask this in like 2 years, and who do we think will be more impactful? Like, because I don't know. I'm going to pick the second year guys to be more impactful than the rookies.
Well, this ain't necessarily in terms of impact. You can factor that into your decision, but ultimately this is just, all right, for where they picked at and what they got, do you think those picks are more of a value than the previous year?
Yeah, like I looked at it like 10 years down the line, like you match the draft classes up against each other, which draft had the better careers. That's what I did.
And of course we need time to tell like the actual story, but this is just for shits and gigs, man. What you think?
I'll go with I'm gonna go with the guys who've played at least a down in the league already.
Okay,
so I appreciate that perspective.
I'm not mad at that. Willie B.
I call a break on this one because I predict the last year draft pick would be, like I said, better for the rookies except for one. Tyree Williams probably be more advanced to the other draft picks. Just one rookie. So I get Williams gonna be a more advanced. So he come in camp. In the second year unit, they got their feet wet first, so that's the reason why. So,
yeah, I feel that.
Kool-Aid, you want to read some of these answers off, and then we might get one more off before we get up out of here.
All right, man. Let's see what people are talking about in here in the chat.
I'm seeing a lot of swishes though.
Yeah. Let me see.
Sky Dog swish. The 24 draft was lousy. See, Eric Allen swish. 25 will add more to the team than the 2024 draft, but it'll be close, and that's essentially what I was trying to get at. But
2024 was elevation, 2025 was sustaining. That's from Justin Case.
Shout out.
I like that one, man. And Greg says he's stuck on this one. I think it is. It's a lot. It's a lot closer than actually realized when I first heard the question. But the conversation.
Jamie Cohen swish. Yeah,
I see that.
I'm seeing, and a lot of people are banking on Rakestraw and some of these players that we haven't seen. I saw somebody bring up Manu as well.
Ryan says Ennis is on comeback watch, man.
Now that I think about it, dog, I don't know. I think I might brick this one, dog. It might be 2024.
There's some players that can swing this thing. Definitely, when you talk about the impacts that they may make this year, that gives them a lead. But for what Brad did with the 2025 roster, I see a definite path for a couple of these guys to be starters over the next few years.
No, absolutely. But you can say the same with the 2024 draft. I mean,
so we just saying Brad could.
Well, of course, but he always does that. But TA already came in. He's a starter for your team. Giovanni Manu, we like the upside that he has, but we don't know what he can do on the field just yet. He's had very, very limited snaps. And the same thing with Anis Rakestraw. We know the potential that he has, but we haven't really seen him get game snaps. So those are the only two real questions, but Christian Mahogany looks like he's going to be a starter for you this year. I really like Sayoni Vaki and the depth that he brings, although he is not a starter for this team. And what he does in special teams is really good. I don't know, man, but yeah, I think I'll go swish, man.
Swish?
I'll go swish.
It's close, and it's because of one Brad Holmes. This is his fault. Blame him.
Yeah,
this is his fault.
Pretty much. But do you want to get one more off, or is that?
I think that's the show.
All right, cool.
Gotta rip and run. And this is as always. This has been fun. Miss my brother Flannel Sam as well. But let's get that chest pass.
Let's do it, man. Oh boy, going out of town, man. Damn.
Hey, no, shout out to my baby sister. She's all grown up. Did a lot of schooling. Got a white coat. About to be a doctor. She got placed at a hospital, matched at a hospital in Columbia, South Carolina. And she's going into, she's going to be an OBGYN. And, you know,
congrats,
she
man.
really is into helping moms, helping babies, helping families. Man.
That's beautiful.
And so
Yes.
I love this for her.
Congratulations.
She just got married 2 years ago, so life is on the way up for her. We're going to get down there to be able to support her. Family is everything. I don't take many vacations, many breaks. I don't know how many I've taken. It might be a few days here and there. And it was really to still go and cover something else. This is one where we definitely want to make sure we get down there because family is everything.
No, absolutely,
everything.
man. And I'm happy for you, man. Especially after the work that you did this Piston season. I know you're a little exhausted, man. You deserve this time, man. And so did Flannel. We all bust our ass around here, man. And listen, I think this is the first time we won't have both of the main hosts on the show at the same time. But for anybody that supports Woodward Sports,
Still
we
the same
appreciate
identity
y'all.
here, though.
Yeah,
It's still the same identity. It's still the same culture.
Exactly.
It's still the same love because we family here.
Yeah, no, we appreciate y'all, hanging out with us for these last few days. Me and Justin on the desk.
And we got some bangers.
Yeah,
ready
man.
for
No,
you.
we
we got
better
some
not.
bangers.
Hey, for my Michigan fans, stay tuned. We're gonna be diving into Michigan, man. It's time. It's time,
And
bro.
stay. Give JB his love too.
Thank you.
And so far this year for exit season interviews, I'm still waiting on to see what they're gonna do.
Okay.
The only availability we do know is gonna be Trajan Langdon tomorrow. So beyond that, I will send what I can when
No,
I land.
absolutely. Send whatever you have.
I'll be available Wednesday because I won't be there at this one.
Mhm.
I'll be out of town, but there's things that I will be able to receive. I'll make sure the social team is getting that.
All right.
As well. So
Yeah,
we'll
bet
be
it
on-
up.
Trajan Langdon's gonna talk. And when we can talk to the players, I will be back by that time and be in the building so we can ask those questions. I'm gonna send a couple questions on to Mr. Cody Davis. So if he gets an opportunity, he will be able to do it. But
yeah, man.
I appreciate you guys, man.
No,
This
but
has been
safe
a show.
travels though. Yeah.
You guys already know, man. I'm gonna be thinking about this show from a standpoint of what you guys are gonna be able to do from this. Hit the stage and run.
Yeah.
Everything you guys do to support what we are. Woo is not a thing without you guys. And that's everybody. Chase in the building, among everybody else who helps us at the sound booth. So we'll break this thing down. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder. We got Cavassier Chase. What up, though, Mr. Fast?
That's JB.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah, that's
Loose.
JB. Yeah, he's loose.
JB's Mr. Fast. Yeah.
Mr. Loose is crazy.
Yeah.
Mr. Loose. What's up? Fast and Loose episode 9 drops at 1 o'clock. It'll be live for you guys to tap into and check out. A lot of stuff going live on my own YouTube channel at 1 o'clock. So once Big D's over, if you guys are looking to fill some time, hop on over and fill some time. I said in between Big D Energy and Ermanni Edwards. Hopefully, like I said, trying to find some ways to fill your day. In between, Wake Up Woodward, Ermanni Edwards, Big D Energy, Woodward Heavyweights, some different types of content for you guys to tap into if you're interested. Shout out to JB, Mr. Fast.
Right.
There you go.
Mr.
The real Mr. Fast. And like I said,
the real one.
and to hopefully get some more viewers for Fast and Loose. Get a like, a subscribe, and we've been talking about giving away a diecast car once we hit 100 subscribers. So if you're interested in maybe getting a cool little NASCAR of yourself, like some of the stuff we have on the desk, if you tap into the show, hit the subscribe button. Maybe you end up getting to win a car from the Fast and Loose boys.
Bro,
That's what's up.
Mr. Loose need to be your Tinder profile, man. That picture with you in the braids is just Mr. Loose.
That's ultimate ID.
With the braids.
You're right.
That'll be a diabolical picture and caption, bro. That's I run the world type stuff, man. Shout out to that dude, Justin, in the building. It's been awesome to have you back with the crew.
Woodward
more regularly.
Jesus.
And you don't say something that don't be true, man. Are you really around a lot more for the summer?
Yeah.
That gets me fired up, man.
Yeah, man.
Woodward Jesus,
I'll be
baby.
here all summer. Until September when I have to make my trek back up to Kalamazoo for my last semester.
Oh, do
but
they teach you geography? It's west. You just
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
Get his ass chased.
it's
Get him,
technically
Mr.
it's
Mr. Loose. Get
technically
him.
northwest. It's technically northwest.
Oh, yeah. It's at 142.2 degrees longitude instead of 142.0 where we're currently sitting at.
God damn, Chase.
Mr. Luce is smart, man. That's a smart man.
Hey, either way, if you look at a compass, it's northwest.
Real
So-
educationally focused over at Western Michigan.
Yeah,
It's okay. We win natties.
Right.
We win natties.
Right, we ain't worried about the academics.
Hey, they say natty because they can't spell national champion.
Oh, shit.
Yo, Chase.
No, I can spell national championship.
Right now, national champion.
N-A-T-I.
Chase from the top row.
He stopped. He
O-N-A-L.
He forgot.
Mr. Luce is cashing in. He's cashing in his
You on a run now.
We underestimated and underrated.
Hey, it's okay.
Where's the?
I totally
There's so much
underestimated.
salt coming from right next to me, man. Like, he's so
underestimated
mad
this.
that we won a national championship. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
Where's the dynamic, dog?
You're right.
I want to know when y'all play each other in volleyball.
All right,
Everything
it's
that
gonna
we
go
ever
up.
did.
I don't see CMU with no natties. That's all I'm saying.
1974 D2 football.
D2 football. Let's go. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh shit.
Last year before we made the jump to D1. Hey.
Dog.
Hey.
Shout out to Willie B. Crash. Shout out Willie.
What's happening?
Mr. Chop Cheese himself in the sound booth. What up, though, brother?
Man, it's been smooth. It's been, hey man, I'm happy to be here. Every time I come here, I feel like everything's went away. You could be free who you want to be. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful about being Woodward Sports. You do what you love doing. Talk about sports. Talk about real life. How sports fans really talk about and they passionate about. You can hate on Detroit all you want. Guess what? But it's Detroit fans. You can kiss our dick in the face if you like it. Detroit fans, everybody right here.
Bro.
Every time.
Shout out with me. Go to the TD booth, dog.
Stick with the
Lewis
slogan,
was
man.
MVP in The Godfather. Stick in Jersey booth.
I didn't expect to get a motivational speech today, but I'm ready.
You ready?
Fire it up.
Don't even know what you're ready for. You just ready.
You're welcome, Stick.
Shout out to Stick, man. Godfather Woodward Sports. Shout out to JB Smooth.
And
man.
he's right. We do allow everybody to have an opinion, everybody to do what they want, unless you say anything negative about Jared Goff, you fucking idiots.
Oh my God! What just happened in this last 5 minutes?
I don't know. I don't know.
What up, boy, Teresa? What up, JB? Say bye to the
JB don't kiss no dicks.
I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that. I don't even know what's happening. This has been one hell of a show, you guys.
On that one, I forgot to
Yo,
put that
check
in.
out Fast and Loose coming out later on today. Check out the Chase Lounge as well too. Woodward Ringside is up. God, we need to get out of here, yo.
Yeah, this shit is off the rails. It's off the rails.
Detroit #1 draft pick KG. Philadelphia, our brother Flannel Sam. We miss you, brother.
Yes, big facts.
Back, man. Shout out to
I do the crash out for you, Sam. I got you.
Appreciate the 400 plus people that joined us today, man. Shout out to the chat. Best chat in the motherfucking world. Shout out to my team. Love each and every one of y'all, man. Let's keep this shit rolling, man. Go Tigers, man. They back on the horse today. Let's get it.
Let's get it. It's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Hey, stay tapped in. Continue to hit that like button. Support KG and Justin on the desk and the Woo Crew and all the Woodward Sports, man. Dude, love you guys, man. Have a blessed one. Stay safe out there.